Didn't I bring you in here? Don't tell me I don't got it by me. I don't got it. Oh boy. Y'all will be in here in a second. All right. Yes. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? I see y'all in here. Y'all like, where you go? You said busy info day. What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing, man? Yeah, I know it's 9:39 on V-Day. I know most people they out there, they busy right now. They in there right now buying chocolates and spending all that propaganda money. But I'm here to teach y'all to love yourself. You got to love yourself before you love anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Hey, is that Ricky? Bro, where you been? What's going on, brother? How are you? How are you? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? All right, well, I'm just going to get straight to it because I already know I'm just coming out of nowhere on a Tuesday. And people have better things to do than hear me go live. Yeah, it's been a while, bro. Been a while. You say, what's the shelf of herbs? I guess you mean shelf life. If you're talking dry herbs, it depends. But people be saying 2 years, but they last longer than that, in my opinion. You know? All right. So, yeah, I'm going to just start. I'm going to get to it. Oh, yeah. Peace, love, and respect to you too, brother. You already know. All right. So, let me go. Yeah, go on, like the video, you know, share, let people know we popping right now. Let me hi, what's going on, David in the building, what's up? Let's go on. All right, so yeah, we're gonna I'm going over this because people are still asking me questions about the honey. So they still like, yo, I can put it in my eye. Like, what is that? So I wanna just go over some more points about the honey again, and then let you know it's on sale again. I had the coupons going on last week, but I went ahead and put it on sale again. So the droppers is knocked down and the jar is knocked down. The links is in the description, so y'all can go check it out. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, so the honey, for those of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about Nesut Nectar stingless bee honey. All right, that's what we got right here. Nesut Nectar stingless bee. This is the black stingless bee honey that Dr. Sabi spoke of. I actually got a clip of one of his videos on my stories in my IG right now. It's the original bee. The original bee. So when you go back and you look at let's see, when you go to like When you go and look in the codex, with the Olmecs, and they talked about the Zunon cob. This is why the drops are called cob drops. These are the bees that they was talking about, not the Apis mellifera hybrids, you know. So these are bees that do not sting, okay? And they're very, very small, extremely small. They're almost like gnats, you know what I'm saying? And what makes that so dope is you have to compare it to like Ant-Man, where Ant-Man has the ability to shrink down and go into realms, like the quantum realm, so forth and so on, that are so small that, the rules and the physics, ain't the same as at this scale, but they ain't that small. But to compare that to the fact that, the honeybees and the bumblebees that you normally see, they have a certain size. Flowers have a certain size. Flowers are very fragile. So, if a bee can't access the flower, it can't pollinate, it can't get the nectar. It could try, but it'll tear that thing up. And when you get into a lot of these medicinal herbs, a lot of these medicinal herbs have very small flowers, such as porterweed, aka Stargotafida Jamaican scents, also known as the real blue vervain, because there's a blue vervain here in the States, but there is a Caribbean West Indian blue vervain called Stargotafida Jamaican scents that or Jamaican senses, that they also call snakeweed and porterweed, and it has these little blue flowers that taste like mushrooms, and they have high levels of dopamine. You do not eat the leaves fresh. You only deal with blue vervain as a tea cooked. The only fresh part of that plant that you can eat is those mushroom tasting flowers, which is interesting. They taste like mushrooms because of the high levels of dopamine. If you eat enough of them, you do start getting a slight psychedelic effect. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. I appreciate that. I'm doing a video tomorrow, and it's going to be called "Meddling Heavy with Heavy Metals." So we're gonna be going in detail with that. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So I look like a superhero on the thumbnail. Oh, you talking about my profile pic? Yeah. I am a super. You talking about I look like a superhero? What you take? I am one. Talking about I look like one. Da man. What you talking about? Okay, you got a jar a while ago, and you still you got to hit the info at Soionic Botanicals. Let me show you right now. I tell everybody this is what you inquire. And let me tell you, most of the time when people don't get an order for like a month, it's because there's something wrong with the address. You'll be surprised how many PO boxes, how many packages be in our PO box, and it says return to address. And the reason why it says return to address, because the address is not correct. People leave numbers out, they misspell things, they give the wrong zip code, things of that nature. So it could be anything. So I always tell people to we have an email, we have a phone number. We had a technical issue that occurred last week, for the week, and it took a minute to kind of get our little technology back in order, everything coordinated again. So the emails and the phone calls got delayed. The first thing we was able to fix was the emails. So everybody started getting email response and confirmation, and then the phones. We got that together, and we was able to get back caught up with that. So now when you call, now when you email, you're going to get your responses Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 3:30 are the hours for customer service for the phone line. Emails is also, I would say, more like 11 to 3, Monday through Friday. You can still email at any hour you want. just, you won't get a response till between those hours during the work week. But this is the email. So, check into that email and find out, what it might be with that order. Um, shouldn't be that long, for the jars be going out quick. C3 sometimes takes a minute because that's made from scratch, from your boy. So yeah, let me put that on there. All right, that might be what it is. Excuse me. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, usually on the honey in the jars, it's within at the latest 2 weeks. It's usually like a week later when you end up getting it. But like I said, and then also you got to think, did you order anything else? Because if you ordered like some C3 or you ordered something that actually has to be prepared, then we wait till the other items done before we send it out, and that might be what it is too. So that's why I said just check out the email. We got you. All right. Yes. Like the video. Get that honey if you ain't got it yet. It's on sale right now, and the link is in the description. So yeah, stingless bee honey is where we at right now. One of the first things I want to talk about this honey is when you deal with sweeteners. Okay, when you deal with anything that contains sugars and stuff like that, one of the main things that you worry about initially is the teeth. You worrying about tooth decay, you worrying about cavities, you worrying about breath, you worrying about microbiome in the mouth, the oral biome. You worrying about how that sugar is going to affect your enamel, things of that nature. Well, the interesting thing about this honey is it's one of the only sweeteners that's anti-cariogenic. Yeah, I see you using Manuka. Now let me tell you about Manuka. Okay, Manuka is really based on the bush and not the bee, because the bee is an Apis mellifera. It's nothing special about the bee. It's not there's special Manuka bees. And Manuka is pretty much made in Australia because the Manuka bush is everywhere, but for some reason, and not everywhere, but it's in many places. But for some reason, the Manuka bush in Australia is the bush, the flowers that these bees pollinate and produce the Manuka honey. Now, I'm not going to deny that regular honey and Manuka honey has certain properties. However, the honey is still made by the Apis mellifera bee, and majority of its properties is based on the bush itself. You know what I'm saying? So Manuka has nothing on stingless bee honey. It just don't. Stingless bee honey, even in the tropical regions where there's not much infrastructure, and you could get a discount on a lot of things, and the money ain't popping like that, it's still like 10 times more than the top tier honey in that area. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a jar of honey and that honey's like $20, like the stingless bee honey gonna be 200. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Yeah. So the Manuka don't got nothing on it. I compared it to, like, I think I said like a bicycle to the Starship Enterprise, like a skateboard to a time machine. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can make a whole lot of things with the stingless bee honey, and all of that is coming. I have no idea what I have in store to come. But before I start getting into all those products and things, I wanted to give y'all the experience of the honey itself. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, it's eye drops, it's eye drops, it's ear drops, you know what I mean? And it's a vaginal douche, for women having yeast infections, for women that have dryness in their vagina, for women that have issues down in their vagina. You know what I'm saying? I implore you to create a suppository from the stingless bee honey and watch what happens in 24 hours. You will be flowering like you never did before. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, good question. How do you use this? How do you use this? Is it just a sweetener? No, it is not just a sweetener. This is a medicinal, super miraculous honey that can be put in the eyes, that can be put in your ear, that can be put on your wounds, that can be ingested to increase fertility. This is what stingless bee honey studies all reflect. So, because of the fructose and glucose molecules a link with a 1,1 glycosidic bond, which is more stable than the 1,2 glycosidic bond in sucrose. It is broken down more slowly than sucrose in the small intestines, giving it a lower glycemic index. This more stable bond also means that it cannot be utilized by Streptococcus mutans and is therefore non-karyogenic. So tooth decay and caries are based upon Streptococcus mutans, getting out of control that in your biome in your mouth. And what this honey does, because of its bond, the Streptococcus mutans can't break that bond, can't break that thing down. It got too much swag for it. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't break it down, and it only brings nutrients and nourishment to the teeth, to the gums, to the tongue, and to the oral cavity. So it's anti-karyogenic, Yes, this is the honey that was prayed over, so you can't, like, when they harvesting this honey, you got to be right and exact. You know what I mean? They had an incident with the wrong person going up in here harvesting this honey, and what ends up happening is that they're stingless bees, but just because they're stingless, they're not called harmless bees. They're called stingless bees. So you would have wished they had stingers and you got stung, because what happens to people that are not sanctioned, that are not righteous, you know what I'm saying? That are not chosen to harvest this honey and deal with the bees. The bees get irate, and it's a lot of them. And what they do is they form a swarm, so to speak, and they violently enter every orifice of your face. They go in your nose, they go in your ears, they go in your mouth, and they render you like unconscious, and where you can't like use your faculties. And then because they went in your nose, ears, mouth, they get access to your brain and they will kill you. You will die. So there's many instances of these bees going inside people's ears, nose, mouth in large numbers, to the point that the people stop living. You know what I mean? It's no joke. So you have to be somebody who's been chosen to do it and know what you're doing in order to harvest this honey. And if you're not, then you know what I'm saying. I feel sorry for you. You know what I mean? So yes, this honey is not like regular honey. It sleeps and it gets up. You know what I'm saying? And how you wake it up, how you activate it, is by putting it in the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? So even after you put it in some warm water, if it happens to thicken because of cold, in transportation, or maybe your house is very cold or your room is very cold, you want to put this honey outside in the sun from the moment the sun is rising till the sunset, in a glass container. Now, we got it in jars, and we also got it in droppers. We put it in glass. You do not put it in plastic. And when you do that, you activate this honey. Its properties increase like over tenfold when you do this versus when you don't. And even when you don't, it's still miraculous and out of this world compared to any other honey, Apis mellifera hybrid honey, sugar honey, you know what I'm saying? But when you activate it, then you take it another notch. So for those of y'all that are taking the drops, I implore you, you know what I'm saying? The next day you have a sunny day and it's warm, go ahead and put that honey outside and let it activate. So my man David said facts. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put you up here. David said facts. I healed my dog's scar post mastectomy, okay, a breast tumor removal, and had her skin regenerated exceptionally quick. Even the vets told me. That's what I'm talking. So people ask me, is this honey, can it be used on their pets and their animals? Well, here you go. I'm not going to tell you anything cure nothing. That's not what I do. I don't do that. But I could tell you the experiences other people have. I could tell you about the research papers and things of that nature. I could tell you about my experiences in regards to what the honey has done. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I ain't making the honey. Honey is God made. You know what I mean? Honey never expires. Thank you very much. This honey will last 1,000 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years. It never goes bad. It's the only food on this planet that does not go bad. So if you get this and it sits in your cupboard, that thing will be here way past you, way past your kids, way past your grandkids, way past your 10th generation. It'll still be in that cupboard. Should it be there way past the cupboard? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got somebody wearing glasses less and less. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Yes. If she got an ear infection, I definitely would suggest. Only thing you got to do, lay the baby on the side. You know what I mean? If the, you know, I what I do is I take a bowl of warm water and let the jar sit in the warm water, you know, for about 15, 20 minutes, get that thing nice and swagalicious, and then lay them on their side, drop it in their ear, turn them around, drop it in their other ear, you know? Yeah, multi-generational honey. So, you know, this honey is very special to the people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very grateful that I was able to be the one to provide it to y'all. You know what I mean? I do recognize that on the highest level, you know what I'm saying? And I do not take it for granted at all, you know, because you know, Sabi talked about this honey for a long time, and it's always been a conversation. But you know, no one's really ever had it available to the people. So I'm so grateful that I've been able to have it available to y'all. And you know, so many people have tried it so far. You know, we got tons of testimonials in regards to how much better their eyesight looked, how much better their vision was, their sleep, their melatonin levels, you know, and all that, you know. So how often do you put it in your eyes? You put it in your eyes daily. You know, you put a drop in each eyeball daily, you know. And one of the best times to put it in is before you go to bed. So if you activate it all day, then you know, I would drop some in the eyes before I go to sleep. And then when I get up in the morning, you know, I'll do it after, you know, I you know, get clean and everything like that, freshen up and stuff. So, you know, it'll help you see further. It'll help you see further, like physically, like on a camera level with your eyes, like how you see every day, just plain optics. You'll see further, clearer, similar to like what mushrooms do for your eyes, but without dealing with the psychedelic side effects. You know, oh, and then another thing that I need to talk about too is I'm wondering, I'm wondering if, yeah, maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I should let me show y'all something real quick. Y'all want to see something? Hold on. All right. So, woo! Oh my goodness. Do y'all know what this is? Let me take this off the screen real quick. Let me take this off the screen. Y'all know what I'm holding in my hand right here? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess what this is? Yeah, I'm debuting this right now. I ain't even plan on doing this, but y'all got me feeling good. See, this is what happened when people miss out. They be missing out, man, but y'all here. Like I said, Nesut Nectar is on sale right now. The cob drops as well as the jars. If you have not tried this Nesut Nectar, get on it. It's one of the best investments you're going to make in your life. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't just help with your vision. It helps with your to envision. It helps with your dreams. So you don't just see further in this realm. Every time I take drops before I go to bed, my dreams are so vivid, so clear, and so meaningful. And when I say meaningful, I mean like it gives me message, it gives me knowledge, it gives me understanding for my next days. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's right, Kryptonite. Of course, Kryptotic would get it. You know, oh yeah, it will definitely give you energy when you're feeling tired. The honey will wake you up. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Natural yeast, sea moss, and honey. No, this is, so I don't say it. This, okay, that's this. Mixed with this. And 6 months. It's been curing for 6 months. It's called blue honey. I don't know if y'all ever heard of blue honey before, but that's what this is right here. This is blue honey. And the only thing I got to do is filter it out. You know what I'm saying? Anybody ready for some blue honey? But yeah, I talked about this at the psychedelic conference back in August. I had a few bottles then. Those was only like maybe a month to 6 weeks or something like that. But this is 6 months going on 7 months, actually. 7 months. Yeah. It's going on 7 months now. So one of the best ways to take those is along with honey, because it, you know, when you take those, you know what I'm saying, and you go on your trips, it takes, you know, like an hour for you to digest and you to start getting, you know what I mean, the effects. But when you take it with honey, it's way quicker. It's way quicker. The honey helps to facilitate everything. So I got jars and jars of these, by the way. I got jars and jars of these bad boys right here. And who knows, man? I might do a pop-up. Might do a pop-up and talk about them. Just talk about them, and y'all could just come out and hear me talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is called blue honey, and blue honey is everything I'm about to talk about with the regular honey on a whole nother level, you know? Oh, no. You do not drop this in your eyes. You do not. If you do, it is on your own volition. I am not. Oh, is that okay? I'm about to say, is that Tanya who took it at the psychedelic conference? Can this honey be given to toddlers 2 years to help with building their system to fight colds pick up from daycare? Of course, they can ingest it. Don't put it in their eyes, because baby's eyes is Gucci. You don't got to put nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was a joke, David. Okay, David was joking. Okay, you gotta be careful for the chat, because they'll run with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, your birthday February 29th. So you're gonna get some next year? Because a leap year ain't till next year, baby. Ain't no 29th this year. You gonna wait till next year, huh? Yeah, everybody gonna want some of this blue honey. This the ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. This is a real deal right here, man. I wasn't even thinking about this tonight. You know what I'm saying? But I'm so happy it just crossed my mind. It probably talked to me. It was like, yo, tell them about me. Where do you get a load of me? But yeah, blue honey is infused with God's phone number. You see what I'm saying? And you can microdose with this. You know, you take it by drops. I'm talking about ingesting, not in your eye. You take drops, you microdosing. You take dropper fulls, you're going on trips. And you're going on them probably in about 10 minutes or something like that. You know? So that's what this is. So you get all the same medicinal effects. And then, you know, you get to holler at God too. You know? So it's the bad boy. For the folks that was able to try it at the psychedelic conference, they definitely had a blast. You know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and get back to the presentation. I'm trying to tell you folks is missing out. They missing out. They missing out. All right. So yeah, we talked about the anti-karyogenic effects. All right, let's go to. All right. I ain't even about to do that. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to say that out loud because they be tripping. All right. So this is post-stroke vascular cognitive impairment called PSVCI. So, you know, what is a stroke essentially? You know what I'm saying? Testicular cancer, if you're dealing with the testicles, this definitely helps with the testicles. I would say a combination of the honey and the bantana oil, because the bantana oil helps with the phallus and the testicles, not just growing, but testosterone levels. So I would deal with that, and then I would deal with the honey too. You know, if you have like a KitchenAid mixer, what I would do is make sure that the bantana oil is in its liquid form, because, you know, at room temperature, it turns solid. So, you know, through a double boiler, I'd melt it down, put it in a KitchenAid, and then start letting it whip, and then pour some of the honey in there as it's being whipped. You know what I'm saying? Into it. And then when it's done, scoop that out and then start applying that, you know? Oh, yeah. Let's see. And then also you need to be grounded. You need to be getting sunlight. You know, your phallus should be, you need to get more sunlight on that thing. But yeah, when you're dealing with strokes, you're dealing with a situation where you have a rupture of blood vessels inside of the brain. You also have a certain overstimulation of certain nerve endings and things like that happening too, and a lack of oxygen getting to certain areas. It's an amalgamation of different things together, a complex situation. So in this case, I need to let me see. Y'all see that, but let me blow this up. It's 125. Here we go. So the neurocognitive domains of the brain, okay, the executive function is planning, decision making, inhibition, flexibility, working memory, responding to feedback. Okay, this is the frontal lobe that we're looking at. Those two red areas you see. The neural correlates, meaning the areas, would be the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the medial prefrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate cortex, and the thalamus. Okay. So then you go down to complex attention, sustained attention, divided attention, selective attention, and processing speed, you know. Then we get into the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex. Again, pretty much those same areas. Social cognition, learning and memory, language, perceptual motor function. Okay. These are all the different areas that ends up getting affected, right? So then go down to, hold on, my slide game. Okay, so we go here, and then it talks about the different phenolic compounds that are inside. Okay, so there's like 200,000. There's hold on, bring this in. There's about 200 distinct. I'm saying 200,000. I'm thinking about how many flowers is in there because it's 250,000 flowers compressed in a single dropper bottle. There's 500,000 flowers compressed in the jar. But in the honey itself, it contains about 200 distinct compounds, including B12. You know, ooh, we hitting you on the table last week. That it helped you out, I would think. I'm glad you put that honey on there. So let me blow this back up. So out of them 200 compounds, you got phenolic compounds. And what does phenolic mean? Phen means light. And why does phen mean light? Because what we're talking about is the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is the snake eating its own tail, or the vortex spiraling energy that we utilize, and we utilize it through all of the phenolic compounds. And the phenolic compounds are the six-sided carbon molecules, as you see right here, the benzene ring. And if you take this benzene ring, right, every corner of this benzene ring has an orbital. Okay, and this is all theoretical, obviously, because I ain't shrunk down to Ant-Man size and seen all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you know how they do. But this is how it all goes together. Excuse me. Long day, though, long day. So the carbon represents each vertex or each meeting point of the angle. Okay, so you see my cursor. Okay, you see the blue, you see the green. This is the six-sided benzene ring. Okay, this is above, above the plane and below the plane. Think of this six-sided ring as carbon creating a plane of inertia. A plane of inertia similar to the plane of inertia that exists in a magnet. Where is the plane of inertia in a magnet? It exists at the point in which what we would refer to as the North and South Pole are separated. Because the reason why that's a plane of inertia, because if you were to break a magnet in half, the magnet will not separate into a North Pole and a South Pole, but what you will now have is two magnets. And if you break those in half, you will have 4. And if you break those in half, you will have 8. Okay, and this is how, we deal with a zygote, going into a marula and blastula into, fetus and everything like that. When we're developing ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Planes of inertia are getting broken, so to speak, into other magnets that has an equal amount of influence on the ethers by being a point source vector. How does the honey and the vitamin D go together? That's a good question. Vitamin D as a hormone, is responsible for the operation of, a lot of your immune system, the nature of your cells, your overall health, calcium metabolism, which is used in order to, of course, strengthen your bones, but also on another level for buffering your blood from it becoming acidic and for the contraction of muscles such as heartbeats and everything like that is the influx of calcium, while magnesium actually blocks the pathway that calcium enters in, and that's how we're able to relax our muscles. So magnesium helps with the relaxation. This is why, you know what I'm saying, you take a magnesium salt bath, you're so comfortable, you know what I'm saying? But calcium deals with flexing and tension And that's the same thing with our body. Our body is based on expansion and compression or tensegrity. You know what I mean? Compression or expansion. So the compression is the flex and the expansion is the relax. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, vitamin D, that's a great combination. That's an awesome combination. You pop some sultriol and then take a spoonful of that honey, or you pop that sultriol and you put 2 drops in your eyes. Come on, stop it. Stop it. So, Anansi, the spider, which was Spider-Man, Tom Holland's version of the Spider-Man's logo on his suit, is just that. And you can see on this example right here is more angled towards you, so you can kind of see the yellow above the plane and the blue below the plane. And the yellow and the blue represent orbitals. And what is an orbital? But it is a theoretical representation of the possibility of where an electron can be at any given time. Because when you're looking at an atom has a nucleus. You see what I'm saying? That nucleus is what is represented as the mass and the core, pretty much the heart of that atom, while the electron is peripheral. Okay, similar to how the moon is to the earth. You know what I mean? Similar like to how a drone is to somebody conducting a drone. The person is on the earth, you know what I'm saying, with the remote control, and the drone is like up there some 400 feet flying all over doing spirals and stuff like that. And that's the relationship between the two in regards to like space. So what these little dumbbell balloon shapes are is just showing the theoretical location of where an electron could be at any given time. And being that it moves so fast and that it can occupy all those different locusts, in relation to the atom, it forms this kind of inverse raindrop shape. You see this dumbbell shape, and you have an orbital that exists above the plane, right, and below the plane. Now, what you see here, with the blue and the green, you see these red lines, right? You got red lines between this blue, you got red lines between that blue, you got red lines between that blue. And what these lines represent, so to speak, are the double bonds. Okay, and if you look here on this one, you see this one got 2 lines. So some have double bonds and some don't. So between these blues, there ain't no double bonds there. But between these blues, there are double bonds. And what happens is they fluctuate. So you have a double bond here, here, and here. And if you look at this glyph right here, this is like a simplified version. So you see how this got a line there, a line there, a line there. So that's the double bond, that's the double bond, that's the double bond. But if there's a double bond here, there can't be a double bond there. If there's a double bond here, there can't be a double bond there. So they switch. You see what I'm saying? They switch between this and this. So what ends up happening through this energy pattern is these double bonds are here, and then it switches, and now it will be a double bond here, a double bond here, and a double bond here. Everywhere where there's not a double bond, it'll get a double bond, and everywhere where there is a double bond, there won't be a double bond. I'm going to say that again. Everywhere you see the double bonds at now, it'll flip, and then those areas have single bonds, and where you see the single bonds at, they become double bonds. And it keeps happening. And just think about being in a room where you turning the light off and on, right? You just switching so fast. You do it so fast, it look like the light is just on. Or if you remember that scene in Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, when Morgan Freeman was breaking things down, they were showing a car. They was like, time really, perspective of time is what manipulates, our perception of reality. So they showed a car just driving, and then they started speeding that car up and speeding it 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 up until the point where you couldn't even see the car no more. It's like the car disappeared because it was going so fast, it wasn't on the screen no more. Like it just disappeared out of time and space, right? So what happens with these double bonds and single bonds is they flip, and they keep flipping so much that they go from it flipping to it turning into this current right here, which is represented by these donuts, the yellow donut on the top and the blue donut on the bottom. Is these dumbbells turning into these donuts, and what these donuts really are Ouroboros. They are a currency, okay, a cycling of electricity, a cycling of energy, a cycling of force. And once that cycling of force occurs, that induces a magnetic field, because everywhere you find current, everywhere you find electricity, 45 degrees perpendicular in relation to that, you're going to find a magnetic field, because electricity is actually a hybrid. Electricity is a hybrid. So it's funny because Sabi said the body's electric. So he really saying the body's hybrid. But nah, dielectric is actually the term. So it's dielectric and magnetism, and the connection of the dielectric and the magnetic gives birth to electricity. You see what I'm saying? So this current induces a magnetic field, and this is what you see by these green arrows. Okay, these green arrows. So what am I talking about here? What is this whole point about? Yes, like the video, or don't like the video if you don't like where I'm going with it. We're talking about Nesut honey right now. Nesut Nectar, Honduran black stingless bee honey. Okay, this is the boy. We also have the jar, twice the size. You know what I'm saying? This lasts forever. You can put this in your eyes. You could put this in the ear. You could put this on your wounds. Okay, women can put it in their vagina for candida issues, vaginal infections, or if you just dry and you're trying to get Niagara to flow again, you know. Men can put it on their phallus as well. They can put it on their testicles as well, and it's going to help with fertility. Okay, so what we're talking about here is we're talking about a photon trapping mechanism. And what I mean by photon trap, you remember in Ghostbusters, whenever they would trap a ghost with the proton guns, they would kick the little trap device underneath them. They would stomp on it. It would open and it would suck the ghosts up in there. And remember, these ghosts was nothing but like energy, right? So what I'm saying here is that when you're talking about these molecules in particular, they have the ability to absorb, receive, and trap, you know, like you putting valuables in a safe, you putting valuables in a vault, in a bank vault, and you lock in that vault. That's what these molecules are able to do. And they're called phenols because phen means light. Okay, so when you're talking about a phenolic molecule, okay, a polyphenol, then that is a light molecule that you are dealing with there. And when you're dealing with amino acids, you got aromatic amino acids. They call them that because when you have this this situation right here with the double bonds, this is what you call an aromatic ring. An aromatic ring, or aromaticity, is another term that is used. So phenols deal with aromatic rings. So tryptophan, okay, phenylalanine. Listen to the word phenylalanine. It has phen in there. And what does phenylalanine make? Tyrosine. What does tyrosine make? Melanin. Huh? Look at where we're going with this. And melanin is all about absorbing all the light. Melanin is made up of phenolic compounds. Okay. Oh, yeah. So there's a connection between the honey and the Anunnaki. I'm not even about to get into that one. That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this honey comes down from somewhere. Do you understand? This is the special. This is the special. And you know, and this is the super special. Mwah. I love you. Oh my goodness. Woo, boy, that blue honey, baby. Ah. All right. So So let's go back. All right, because I was talking about the stroke, right? So I had the chart up, and the chart said phenolic compound. So I want you to understand. Now look at the first name, the first compound on here, bro. Look at what this thing say. What is that called? It's called chrisin. Huh? Chrisin. And you ain't into Christianity. That's cool. But you could be in the etymology and you could be in the language. And when you get an etymology and language and you deal with Christos or Christ, it deals with anointed. It deals with oil. Okay. It deals with sacred secretion. Okay. And this honey is very sacred. Now, one of the things that I was talking about before when I was dealing with the Ascension Protocol is the fact that honey is has a certain name in other languages. And I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. Oh, they definitely do. They definitely do. They definitely do. You know? So, oh yeah, the C3 honey is super bombs, because that's actually that is Joseph and Mary in the Bible. When you put my C3 conscious Crispus along with the honey, you have Joseph and Mary, you have the milk and honey, because conscious Crispus sea moss is made up of galactans, and galactans are chains or what's the word? Or polymers of galactose sugars, and galactose is milk sugar, as in galaxy and Milky Way, So we talking about milk and honey. When you put the conscious Crispus with the honey, it's a match made in heaven, literally. So I was talking about chrisin here, and chrisin. Yeah, go to the description, y'all. You tripping if you ain't got no Nesut Nectar yet. It's on sale. I put the sale out there. I did the coupons last week for you. You know what I'm saying? I put the coupons last week for you. This week I went ahead, and I appreciate everybody who participated in that. People love them coupons. They went and they watched the kidney video. You didn't have to watch the whole video. That's just where the coupon codes was at. And I'm yawning because my circadian rhythm works, y'all. And speaking of circadian rhythm, let me go on my next point. Syntax in the building. We got the God in the building. You know what I'm saying? Everybody give a shout out to my man Syntax. Okay, he is a king up there in Detroit. He is a pillar of the community up in the D. What up, doe? You know what I'm saying? Painting them hieroglyphics across the bricks. That metaneta, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Larry Jackson healed 3 old scars with the combination of the sea moss and the honey. Nice. Ears to the street in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Syntax, we got Ant-Man coming up, dog. I know you ready. I know you ready. But yeah, hey, what up, though, from the D? Dana Kennedy from the D2. What's up, Dana? Yeah, you definitely from the Midwest with a name like Dana. You know what I'm saying? Dana from the D. You need your own podcast, bro. That's an awesome podcast name right there. All right, so the question I'm going to ask the chat is this. What is the name for honey in Spanish or in what is it, in Greek? Oh, get the jar, Tanya. Get the jar. Jar is going to be more versatile. You'll be able to take the drops. You'll be able to ingest it. You'll be able to use it on wounds. It's going to last a lot longer. So definitely. All right. All right. We got miel. And then, when you're talking German, is Mel. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why that matters is because the pituitary represents the milk. All right. Hence why sea moss helps so much with the regulation of hormones and the overall system of the body. It comes from the ocean. It's woman and it's feminine. You know what I mean? Honey, though, on the other hand, is masculine. Okay. It deals with the pineal gland. All right. And with that, the pineal gland produces a main neurotransmitter, a main molecule, and is God's phone number, at least his base number. You know how you can dial a business and the business might be like, it might be like 448628000, right? But then you got uh extensions, right, from that 8,000 that go to specific people. So when you make DMT, when you make those other molecules, those are those other extensions based on the melatonin. The melatonin is the base molecule, but it's called melatonin. So it's honey atonin, and tonin means tonic. All right. Or tonin can also mean phone in, like tone. So it's like honey phone. Not honeycomb, but the honey phone. So when you talk about melatonin, you're saying honey every time, and it also connects to mela, like when you get into melanin, okay, which means black. So what are we talking about? We're talking about black stingless bees, so it coincides and it relates on both on both sides. So we're dealing with honey and melatonin. And when you're taking this honey, especially before bed, you help to activate your melatonin extremely well and decarboxylate said melatonin efficiently. And when you decarboxylate, which is a fancy way of saying melanin exhaling, because when we exhale, what do we exhale? Let me ask the chat. What do we exhale, y'all? Yeah, in hip hop, we had Melly Mel. That's right. What was Melly Mel? He was honey honey. He was pineal pineal. All right. You got pineal pineal. Let me see what y'all say. Yes, when we exhale carbon dioxide. So when melatonin exhales carbon dioxide, what is the result? Dimethyltryptamine. Dimethyltryptamine is the end result of the exhalation of carbon dioxide from melatonin. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that we spent a lot, like, I appreciate that. The brother just said, let me put this up on the screen, man, because it touched my heart right there, man. Your product labels are always professional, like those right out of the store. Really good graphics, presentation, unlike many people. So I appreciate that because we spend a lot of time and effort and all of that. I design me and my man from Dado Designs, Christian, we came up with the Nesut Nectar design together. Now, other than that, all the other labels, that was all Photoshop, and he helped me clean up a couple things. I'm about to upgrade the labels again. We about to kind of like, they're going to be very similar, but we about to streamline them and take them up another notch. But yeah, because presentation is everything. Like Bill Cosby talked about this on the Cosby Show when there was a young man, showing interest in his daughter, and he was talking about, his presentation was flawed, and he compared it to eating a meal. He was like, "What's your favorite food?" You know what I'm saying? Let's say he said like curry goat or something like that. I don't know what he said, like curry. He was like, "Oh, curry goat." He was like, "Which we want rice and peas with that?" He was like, "Yeah, because they wasn't vegan on the Cosby Show, yo." So I'm just saying what it is. So, Ricky, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother. So we got the plate of the food. We got, let's say they got the curry goat, you got the rice and peas, you got the salad. He was like, "You want like some extra gravy on there?" Yeah. He was like, "Oh man, that sounds good." He was like, "Okay, so let's say I make all that, make it exactly how you like it. There you go, Purge. And let's say I go get a trash lid." He was like, "A trash lid?" He was like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna put it on a plate. I'm gonna go grab the trash lid, off the trash, and I'm gonna put that food on there. And I'm gonna sit in front of you. Don't want to eat it? And he was like, nah. I was like, why not? It's good. It's great. But he was like, cuz it's on the trash list. He was like, oh, so you mean like the way I presented to you wasn't good enough? So he was trying to tell him presentation. So that always rung in my head. And it's like, I know I've never been perfect with presentations, you know what I'm saying, in regards to things, but I know in regards to my products, because they're an extension of myself, I put a lot of energy in making sure that they're right and exact, they're clean and they're crispy. I'm an artist, you know what I mean? I want y'all to have an experience with every bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the white dropper top. That wasn't by mistake, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt, you know, of course the bees are black and gold striped. That's the whole thing with bees, but the white gives it this kind of like this like purity, you know what I'm saying, to it. And having the black being able to preserve the nutrients inside very well, you know. And then, you know, if you look at the label, it got the honeycombs on there, you know what I mean? Christian went in on here, man. That's my homie right there, you know. And if you notice, he got the bee kind of like preserved in the honey. You see what I'm saying? He's like preserved in there to let you know that it's immortal. It lasts forever. You know what I mean? And then we got our little mandala down there. We got our own little sacred mandala we made. You know, it's amazing. You know, and then we got our instructions on there. Do not refrigerate. You know what I mean? Everything is on here. And now we got it on there. Talking about sitting it in the warm water, because you know I'm learning about my product too, and I found out that you know it could get cold and it could get thick. You know, yeah. So I'm saying, pay attention to the body. Everything is put in there. You know, vinyl chloride. I talked about that briefly on my Instagram live earlier. That is beyond a shame. That deserves its own video. I don't want to get into that right now, but yeah, they just trashed our whole water system. You know, don't think just because it was up there in Ohio, it's not going to affect you, because it comes all the way down to the Mississippi and into the Gulf. And there's a lot of streams that come out of that main river, you know, that's going to affect ecosystems. And those ecosystems, all our ecosystems are innervated. We're like mycelium networks. So it's not like a ganglion could get blown up in Ohio and a ganglion, you know what I'm saying, in Virginia ain't going to feel that eventually. You know what I'm saying? So the bees are sourced. Oh, is that Kafunya? Hey, Kafunya, how you doing? Kafunya is in the building. This is a divine elder from up top. You know what I'm saying? She spreads the wisdom, you know, peace and love. So the bees are sourced from Honduras, okay, from the pristine forests of Honduras, from a sacred tribe and a priesthood, who have to go through a very extensive selection process just to harvest this honey. And I was explaining earlier, just because they're stingless bees don't mean they're harmless bees. You see what I'm saying? Harmless bees, they're not harmless at all, because if you're not sanctioned, okay, if you're not walking with your left foot forward, if you're not pure heart, if you're not chosen, then the bees have the capability of turning into a swarm, and they nosedive. Literally, they will go up your nose, they will go in your eyes, they will go in your ears, they will go in your mouth, and they will go in your brain. All right, and you will cease to thrive if you get my drift. You know, so that is a very dangerous situation. You know, there's stingless bee honey all over the world, but this honey is one of a kind. I know this now, like for sure. Ain't no other honey like this one. Sabi knew what he was talking about. Yes, please hit that like button. You know, so if you want to get a taste of this golden nectar, this food of the gods, literally, because I can't, you know, I make something I would never call it no food of the gods. You know what I'm saying? But this is, because I didn't make it. It was made by the bees, and the bees was made by the Most High. You know. So yeah. So let me get back into the presentation because I've been talking. Um, where did okay. Okay. So Kristen, okay. Um, we were talking about the stroke. So it reduced neuronal damage by decreasing oxidative injury. Against neuronal damage by inhibiting inflammatory response. Okay. So the cerebral plasticity prospect is protect against memory impairments due to neurodegeneration and ameliorate cognitive deficit. Okay. Let's see what y'all talking about. Woo, David, you going off right now, man. You going off right now, bro. David said, what? David said, fun fact, Honduras comes from the root word hondo, meaning deep, which means the deep place. So yes, the bees there are different. They just different, son. I'm sorry. You just ain't no comparison. This is the boy. You know, a lot of people say they got it. You know what I mean? And then there's people who just got it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what this is right here. You know, and some people understand and they done jumped on. Let me tell you, there ain't nobody who got this honey who ain't had a miraculous experience with it. I don't care if they got the dropper or they got the jar. They've had a miraculous experience. You know what I'm saying? Yes, be different. Where can I read more about the honey? Go to the site. The link to the honey is in the description. Just click on the description and it'll take you to the site. And I have an extensive description written out there. And that's what we're talking about now. But if you want to just kind of get a quick summary, you can go to the site and read it. And the link is in the description. Just click on it and go there right now. We have a sale going on. So I suggest you get it. You know, this honey is for so many things. Right now, we're talking about post-stroke, but we talked about anti-carcinogenic and oral hygiene. How it helps with this, a sweetener that actually helps the teeth. You know, you start off with a drop in each ear. You don't have to overdo it. Yeah, drop in each ear be fine. And it deals with cancers, it deals with fertility. It's like the best wound healer. So when you combine it with Conjures Crispus, it's gonna stimulate collagen production like none other. That's why both of those are in the CL5 package that I have. But yeah, it deals with the eyes is pretty much the creme de la creme of what it's for, because I got people that stop wearing glasses. People got rid of cataracts, people getting rid of glaucoma, macular degeneration. I'm not healing anything, and I'm not professing to be no healer. But what I'm saying is that God provided these bees and also provided Mother Nature and an ecosystem that allowed these bees to pollinate and collect nectar and pollen and create one of the greatest godly tonics known to man. And in that, it just has all these properties that's able to help people, and the studies are all there. She will be able to have this honey. I say, give her a little bit first, of course. Don't just take my word for it. Give her a little bit, and see how she reacts. I find that I'm wearing my glasses less. That's right. It's going to get to the point you're not going to be wearing your glasses at all. Toronto in the building. What's up, Toronto? How you feeling? All right. So, can we take vitamin D in the day and the honey before bed? Most definitely. Yes, you can. Gallic acid promotes cerebral antioxidant defense, excellent free radical scavenger, reduce oxidative stress caused by 6-OHDA and protects against cognitive impairment. Potent, the anti-inflammatory is the potent anti-inflammatory agent against vascular disease, and the cerebral plasticity prospect reinstated the spatial memory in animal models for vascular dementia due to the ischemic brain injury against the acute and chronic oxidative stress that is the basis of neurodegeneration. So it's bringing oxygen to the brain, healing, Cinnamic acid. Okay, these are all phenols. Remember, light-based molecules, preserved. And that's another thing. The other thing is like preservation. We be trying to figure out how to preserve things the most. You know what I'm saying? That's why things have preservatives in there so they can last longer. Honey lasts 1,000 years. That lets you know the oxidative levels of this honey is very, very low, because if it was able to oxidize, then it won't be able to last long. So that lets you know that this is an alkalizing substance. This is a substance that helps you retain your energy, the electrons you have, and also provides a great deal of electrons in the mineral content and the compounds that exist inside of it. Cinnamic acid, potent oxidative stress reduction, capacity and anti-genotoxic capacity of p-coumaric acid. Oh my goodness, listen to that word. What do you think anti-genotoxic means? Huh? Anti-genotoxic. Anti means against. Okay? Anti means against. Geno deals with genome and genetics. Toxic deals with poison. So it is against poisoned genes. It's against genes that have been poisoned. All right. So if you're dealing with mutations, you see what I mean? This is going to help to revert mutations back. So p-coumaric acid exhibited neuroprotective effects against 5S cysteamyl dopamine-induced neurotoxicity. Okay, so they induce neurotoxicity with 5S cysteamyl dopamine. Okay, cysteine. That's one of the that's one of the sulfur. I'm sorry, that's one of the sulfur-containing amino acids that with methionine. P-coumaric acid had the potential to be the main element for the prevention or treatment of AD and Alzheimer's, and the development of novel monoamine oxidase inhibitors. Okay. Yeah, that's right, LeVar Bennett. You got it. That's one of the main things. 750 milliliters. That's 2 tablespoons a day for 3 weeks, along with hydration every day, and a mono diet of a fruit of your choice, preferably a fruit picked off a tree. Okay, a fruit picked off a tree, because it has that power in there. Quercetin, we've heard this word, right? Quercetin, protect against oxidative damage caused by induced cerebral stroke. Okay, induced cerebral stroke in young and old rats. Okay. Attenuated oxidative stress induced by high-fat diet in mice, and improving spatial learning and memory. Helps in ICH by deterring inflammatory response and apoptosis and reducing lesion volume, hence stimulating restoration of neural function. Ameliorate the ischemic injury by regulated acid sensing ion channel, lead, calcium, and lipid peroxidation in neural cell, enhancing the neuronal count in the hippocampus area, which is the worst affected region post-stroke, delaying the development of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive function deficit. Catechins ameliorate the oxidative stress caused by neurodegeneration diseases, mitigate oxidative stress following the insult caused by the cerebral ischemia, able to indirectly enhance the body's endogenous antioxidants to fight against the oxidative damage caused by various stress. So it helps to stimulate the antioxidant mechanisms that you already have in you, especially with the NFR2 system. Mitigate the inflammatory reaction following the insult caused by the cerebral ischemia. Significant neuroprotective effect against neuronal insult caused by transient global ischemia. High dose may help in attenuating the formation of post-ischemic brain edema and reduced the volume infarction following the unilateral cerebral ischemia. Improve learning and memory function age in mice. Okay, and we got apigenin, protects neurons against oxygen glucose deprivation, reperfusion-induced injury in cultured primary hippocampal cells, hippocampal neurons or cells, neuronal cells of the hippocampus. Hippocampus means water horse, and this is your water horse right here. Okay, this is the water horse because the hippocampus sits right along this lateral ventricle, okay, of your water horse, which is where your cerebral spinal fluid is pumped. Okay, look at this bad boy. These are your ventricles: lateral ventricle, third ventricle, fourth ventricle. Pineal gland sits right back there. Pituitary right in the front. All right. And hypothalamus. That's how the cerebral spinal fluid, not cerebral spinal, the SCF. That's how the SCF, cerebral spinal fluid, is able to bathe and nourish the brain. Okay, inhibits the cyanuric acid induced excitotoxicity of hippocampal cells in a dose-dependent manner. So when you're dealing with excitotoxins such as MSG and nutritional yeast, this honey is going to help offset that, neuroprotective effect against ischemia perfusion injury by promoting cell proliferation, induce cerebral infarct areas, alleviated apoptosis, and improve neurological function, stimulates the adult neurogenesis that underlines learning and memory. All right. So those are the effects on the stroke that the honey helps with. Okay, and that's just talking about stroke. Yeah, the young ram. Man, go ahead and hit that like button if y'all appreciating this information. And if you really appreciating this information, go in the description, hit that link. Don't wait another day. Go on and get your honey right now and stop playing these games. If you already got your honey, get your honey for somebody else. And if you got a honey today, which you only got an hour and 5 minutes left, and you celebrate that, go get your honey some honey. All right. Because that sugar you giving her, them chocolates ain't going to do nothing but give her diabetes. In addition to the conventional common properties of Nesut Nectar, in addition to the conventional common properties of stingless bee honey that were mentioned above, a recent study showed that one of the components of stingless bee honey, i.e. what I talked about, we were talking about fiend, right? We were talking about fiend. Yeah, I know, I'm ready for that next week. What are you talking about next week? It's this week. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you telling me that you want me to talk about it next week? Okay, I'm a little slow right now. I got you. We'll talk about it because I'm gonna combine. That's why I didn't do the part 2 to Martian Lucifer the King. Martian Lucifer the King Ascension Protocol Part 2. That's gonna pretty much be the Ant-Man video. All right. So in addition to the conventional common properties of stingless bee honey that were mentioned above, a recent study showed that one of the components, phenylalanine, see the phenyl, the phene, the light alanine, may be able to trigger the upregulation of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, and inositol 145 triphosphate receptor type 1, which are genes involved in synaptic function. Therefore, stingless bee honey displayed capabilities in improving spatial working memory, spatial reference memory, and memory consolidations. Another study also suggested that stingless bee honey improves memory and reduces anxiety in addition to its potential to reduce triglycerides, LDLs, and normalize blood glucose in rats with metabolic syndrome. As stingless bee honey is a good source of natural antioxidants, it was investigated as a potential anti-aging skin treatment in human dermal in human dermal fibroblast cells as a potential anti-age. So we're talking about senolytic cells, baby, senolytic cells. In this study, treatment with stingless bee honey upregulated collagen expression in both aging and senescent age fibroblast cells and downregulated matrix metalloproteinase associated with degrading collagen, suggesting stingless bee honey may be a promising anti-aging skin treatment. Okay? Yes. Blast means stem cell. Exactly. You know, so we talking about one of the greatest wound healers. You got a scar, you got a cut, you got a gash. You know what I'm saying? Or you're dealing with aging. You got spider. What do they call it? What is it called? Spider lines, chicken feet, chicken toe, whatever it is. But them lines that be on the side of the eyes, the cracking, you know what I'm saying? All of the aging, can get reversed, by, just putting this on your face, doing a nice little facial, Oh man, I'm out of water, man. I got a backup right here though. Got a little backup. How y'all doing? Yeah. Crow's feet. Thank you, Dana. Crow's feet. Crow's feet is the word I was looking for. I'm talking what I said. Chicken toes and oh Lord. Yeah. That's what I get. All right. So cystic fibrosis, cystic fibroids, you're dealing with selenium, you're dealing with vitamin D deficiency. Yes, the honey will help. The honey will definitely help in regards to that. You know what I'm saying? I would suggest. I'm about to get off, y'all. Y'all got me up here yawning. Man. Why am I yawning so much? All right, so that's the melatonin, man. The melatonin calling me. It's like you need to go to sleep. All right, the study findings stated that stingless bee honey supplementation affect and increase learning and memory performance of brain, and it is because content of high antioxidant that enhance synaptic plasticity through synaptogenesis in brain. This is probably translated from Chinese or other languages. That's why it sounds like I'm a caveman talking right now. Yes, the C3 honey combo, exactly. It is because quercetin is another flavonoid, okay? And we got flavanols, and when you get into flavins of flavin, you're dealing with what's what I'm trying to say, the cytochrome P450 system that exists inside of our body that has these heme molecules that deal with the exchange of high energy electrons, and you'll find these flavin molecules in succinate dehydrogenase, which is complex 2 of the electron transport chain of the inner membrane cristae of the mitochondria. So that's where the root word comes from. So still connected to light. Okay, so it is because quercetin is another flavonoid with antioxidant activity found in honey, improves memory and hippocampal synaptic plasticity in models of memory impairment that caused by chronic lead exposure. So we're talking about heavy metals here. Quercetin also has neuroprotective effects against colchicine-induced cognitive impairment or colchicine cognitive impairment, while caffeic acid present in honey give in while caffeic acid present in honey give an effect as neuroprotective on neuronal cell and brain in prevention, learning and memory deficit, and catechin contributes as antioxidant and give effect as neuroprotection on neuronal cell that delay memory impairment. All right, so yeah, obviously this was translated from another language. All right, so let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is pretty much the same thing about the phenylalanine. Honey also showed the ability to enhance memory by effect to increase proliferation of neuron in the hippocampal region. Study reported that both short and long-term supplementations with honey at a dose of 230 milligrams per kilogram of body weight significantly decreased the number of degenerated neuronal cells in the hippocampus region. The most abundant mineral detected in stingless bee honey is potassium. Okay, remember that's potassium, kalium, alkalinity in its greatest state. And potassium and sodium has a great exchange in regards to nerve conduction and a lot of other properties in the body. Followed by sodium, calcium, and lastly magnesium. All right. However, stingless bee honey is reported to have a higher content of polyphenol than any other kind of honey. So the stingless bee honey got more polyphenols. I mean, it has more light. Okay. Moreover, stingless bee honey has been reported to have a higher content of polyphenol than any other kind of honey. Therefore, the best indicator for stingless bee honey quality is the presence of the plant phenolic compounds. These include benzene, benzoic acid, phenylpropanoic acid, 4-hydroxybenzoic acid, 4-hydroxyphenylacetic acid, vanillic acid, protocatechic acid, and picomeric acid. Other phenolic compounds reported to be present in stingless bee honey are luteolin, gallic acid, salicylic acid, syringic acid, cinnamic acid, naringenin, quercetin, isohamnitin, apigenin, campherol, methylquercetin, taxifolin, isoamnitin, deoxyhexosyl, hexoside, quercetin, deoxyhexotyl hexoside, and campherol deoxyhexacyl hexoside. So we got these phenols, and then we got these phenol compounds, and it's just a concentration of light. You know what I'm saying? That's what we dealing with right now. Oh yeah, for sure. You already know these slides will be available in the book. And they'll be all the way done up. They'll be all the way done up. Okay. In general, stingless bee honey contains about 200 distinct compounds, including B12. All right. Iron and all of the rest. Yeah, this is a slide kind of giving you the concept of how antioxidants work. You know what I mean? You got an endogenous source of immune cells, activation by inflammation, cancer, infection, mental stress, and aging. And you got an exogenous source, which is from pollution, smoke, and alcohol, radiation, etc. And as these antioxidants enter into the system, they create oxidative stress and damage. And the wheel goes off in two directions. Well, three directions. I'm sorry. And one of it is lipid peroxidation, which happens inside the mitochondria, where lipids become oxidized. And you know that when you see how grease go rancid, it's like that, and lipid peroxidation leads to membrane damage of the cell. On the other side, you got amino acids and protein fragmentation. So your proteins start breaking apart, denaturing, and that leads to the activation and deactivation of various enzymes. Third pathway leads to DNA damage, ATP depletion, which is adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is not the battery in the body as you know it to be. It's actually a mechanism that has the ability to unfold the proteins inside of the cells so that the protein, which has both a positive end and a negative end based on the carboxyl end and the amine end of the nitrogen, and all of the amino acids that made it up have these charges on it. And because they're all curled up, folded up in these shapes, ATP has an ability to unfold these proteins and expose them to the waters inside of the body. And with the waters being introduced to IR, infrared light, this infrared light and the electromagnetic field that the water is in promotes and activates the separation of charge that leads to the fourth phase of water, what they call the exclusion zone or the gel state of water. And this starts to form these layers, these hydro layers around the proteins, that ends up being the energy. So the energy is in the water. The energy is inherent in us. We just have to access it. And ATP is a molecule that has the ability to give us the access to do so. Okay, so the DNA damage leads to ATP depletion, leads to cell injury and death. Okay, so how do you deal with an antioxidant? You want your antioxidant to outweigh your free radicals. Okay, because the free radicals, which are reactive oxygen species and reactive nitrogen species. Okay, reactive oxygen species and reactive nitrogen species. You want your antioxidants to outweigh those two. All right. So if you notice where it says B now, you have the blue, the red, and the green. Well, the blue represents a molecule that, an atom essentially that has an electron that can be spared in its outer orbital. This electron gets loaned to the antioxidant that actually has a missing electron in its orbital, and that's why it's going crazy. So if you think of today, some people are celebrating Valentine's Day, and they alone, and they lonely and they sad. So they drinking or they trolling people online, they just out of control, and then what happens is, they get a DM from somebody that think they cute, and then they chill out and they calm down, they become more stable. So that's kind of like how it works. You know what I'm saying? So this electron, send this atom sends an electron to pair. And remember, when we talk about electrons, it's theoretical too. It's just it's conceptuality for the mind, because technically, we're really like addicted to particles, and the world and reality really ain't like that. Electrons are really an induction of the ether. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. It's an induction of the ether. It's a unit. It's a unit measurement. An electron is a unit measurement of the induction of our ether. So, when an induction of the ether gets donated, you know what I'm saying, or gets combined with this particular atom that, is missing something, now it turns to the green, and the green represents a stable atom, you know what I mean, or stable molecule. All right. And that's what we're doing. And what these polyphenols and these properties in this honey do is, because it has the highest level of polyphenols past any other honey, you see, it has an abundance of these particular atoms and molecules that have these electrons, this dielectric power that can essentially stabilize all of these reactive oxygen species and reactive nitrogen species. Okay. Oh yeah. You better get the honey. The honey's gonna help you study even better. Of course, yeah. This honey's meant for everybody. I don't care if you're vegan, you're vegetarian, you're pescatarian, you're lactotarian, you're carnivorous, you're frugivore. It don't matter. Even if you're a breatharian, this is probably the one thing breatharians can consume, and they won't have any waste or anything from it. So yes, it's going to help them. It's definitely going to be something beneficial for them, so it's in the description. Jump on the sale. Oh, okay. So we got the caffeic acids and the kaempferol from that previous list, which is potent antioxidant against ischemic reperfusion injury, reduce infarct volume and neuroinflammation activity, neuroprotective effect against ischemic reperfusion injury and adverse drug reactions. Kaempferol represents ameliorated antioxidant defenses and anti-apoptotic effects involve the enhancement of mitochondrial turnover, which is mediated by autophagy. It attenuates ischemic brain damage and inflammation by preventing the activation of STAT3 and NF-κB pathway, and ameliorates neurological deficit caused by the ischemic stroke. The cerebral plasticity prospect says The administration of caempferol to ischemic stroke rats models for 7 days post cerebral ischemia reperfusion was able to significantly reduce cerebral infarct volume, decrease inflammation, and help promoting intact BBB, which is blood-brain barrier, optimal treatment for improving cognitive function due to its positive effects on depression, mood, and cognitive functions. So ICH, intracerebral hemorrhage, BBB, like I just said, blood-brain barrier, ATP is adenosine triphosphate, ATPase is adenosine triphosphatase, 6-OHDA is 6-hydroxydopamine, AD is Alzheimer's disease, STAT3 is signal transducer and activator of transcription 3. So these are all the abbreviations that was listed. Everything KT talks about is eukaryotes, not prokaryotes. Chemetic, aka chemicals. Prokaryotes have no mitochondria, and only prokaryotes are mitochondria. That's why they don't got it, because they are mitochondria. Only one chromosome. So what has KT been teaching this entire time? Well, I talk about the microbiome. I talk about the fact that we are a collection of microbes. I even talk about my man's right here. You want to talk about prokaryotes, and you got to be familiar with Gunther Enderlein and bacteria cyclogeny. You know what I'm saying? So what have I been talking about the whole time? Where have you been the whole time? Where have you been? Where have you been? You know what I'm saying? Where have you been? I didn't say prokaryons don't have, no, I didn't say they did. You ain't listening. I said they are mitochondria. Mitochondria are bacteria. What are you talking about? Okay, you're talking about prokaryotes, right? Prokaryotes, all right? Prokaryotes are mitochondria. You said pull it up. Pull what up? Go and research it for the audience. Oh goodness, I guess we gotta troll y'all. I thought he actually was trying to add to it. You know what I mean? But I guess no. It is what it is. Everybody always want to come and disturb the thought. That's kind of it's an idiotic thing to say, because mitochondria is an ancient bacteria. So of course they don't have mitochondria. They are mitochondria. I think they call rickettsia or one of the closest versions. Y'all can look it up right now. Rickettsia, RickettsiA, I believe, something around there. But these are the bacteria that closely represent, mitochondria and what they look like and their properties and stuff like that. But yeah, they're not gonna have any, because they are them, But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's out of here. He's out of here. I appreciate you trolling, man. You keep things interesting. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so the proposed mechanism of action of stingless bee honey derived polyphenols, catechins, enhance the body's endogenous antioxidants to fight against the oxidative stress. Chrysin, gallic acid, cinnamic acid are potent antioxidants and radical scavengers, hence protect against oxidative damage. Gallic acid, also a potent anti-thromboinflammatory agent. Amphigenin, caempferol, gallic acid, and chrysin ameliorated antioxidant defenses and reduced thromboinflammatory reaction, hence attenuates nuclear cell death, atrophy, and reduced synaptic dysfunction. Quercetin and KF also serve as anti-cholinesterase activity and improve cholinergic transmission. Caffeic acid is a potent antioxidant against ischemia and help reduce neuroinflammation and infarct volume. Optimal treatment of stingless bee honey derived polyphenols may improve cerebral plasticity following post-stroke vascular cognitive impairment in terms of neurogenesis, memory, learning, and cognition. So you could peace and love. Yeah. He needs some money. Yeah. So remember, when you say post-stroke vascular cognitive impairment, you don't just compare it to that. Compare it to brain issues, just problems. And us using our phones, being in the blue light, just toxicity from the heavy metals and what we're dealing with every day. We're kind of dealing with post-stroke symptoms, even though we might not have had an aneurysm or an actual stroke. You know what I mean? There's parts of our body that we haven't been using, properly, that are inhibited based upon the poisons and the toxins. And that's the main problem we have in our body is toxemia. It's just poison. It's poison and hypoxia. Not enough oxygen and poison. Not enough oxygen and poison. And the poison comes from different areas. Radiation is one of them. And we think that we pass things around through being having a brain fart right there, but being contagious. But it ain't contagion, it's radiation. The same way somebody who ends up being overly radiated by a nuclear blast, a meltdown at a nuclear plant. He been on that X-ray way too long. And you get around other people will get sick. People will get affected. Why? Because we are made up of cells, and our cells are able to absorb that radiation and start emitting that radiation ourselves and affect others. So that's what's really going on. We radiate it. You know what I mean? So they turn that 5G up. They can radiate everybody. So when you see this chart right here, this chart is showing risk factors, which leads to cerebral vascular lesions or occlusions, which leads to ischemia and hypoxia, which leads to reduced blood-brain barrier damage, aberrant neurogliovascular unit, CBF, and this leads to oxidative stress, autophagy, parasites. You know what I'm saying? Thromboinflammation, neuroglial cells, and when you see CT and CHY and GA and CA, those are all the polyphenols that affect that. So the chrysin, the gallic acid, and the what am I leaving out? The catechins and the cinnamic acid, you see them creating an X, and that X is stopping the oxidative stress. The X is stopping the free radicals. The X is stopping thromboinflammation. The X is stopping the cytokine storm. You see what I'm saying? It's inhibiting all of that. And essentially all of their effects lead to improved cerebral plasticity, neurogenesis, memory learning, and cognition. All right. So that's all on the brain. Anti-aging, stingless bee honey significantly downregulates metalloproteinase 1 gene expression in post-pre-senescence and senescence fibroblast cells, and upregulates collagen type 1 gene expression in senescence fibroblast cells. Let me put my because it's in the description, but just so y'all know what the website is. In conclusion, stingless bee honey potentially delayed skin aging, okay, through modulation of extracellular matrix genes, baby. Extracellular matrix, the matrix up in here. You know what I'm saying? What else we got? Oh yeah, did I skip the eyes? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So trehalulose strongly resists crystallization. This is why it works so well in the eyes, but I need to go back. Wait a minute. Where's my Oh, okay, here we go. I overlooked it. All right, it takes 10 million trips and 2 million flowers to collect enough nectar to make 1 pound of stingless bee honey. Huh? I'm going to say that again. Hey, Dice is in the building. What's up, Dice? Late nights? Yeah, man. What's going on, brother? We got Dice up in the building. Dice will let you know what this honey do. He done had so many experiences with it over the past 6 months. It's unbelievable. if you're not dropping, you're bulling for sure. You know, you said you buying the slide book as soon as it come out. It's funny, man. I don't even know how valuable it is to the people unless they tell me, because they, it's my slides, and I just be like, these slides, they my artwork and everything. I put them together, but but it takes a bee 10 million trips and 2 million flowers to collect enough nectar to make 1 pound of honey. You hear what I'm saying? 1 pound. So that's how I know I got me 250,000 flowers right here. Okay. And I know when I got my jar, I got 500,000 flowers up in there. You know what I'm saying? Because a pound is 2 milli. 2 milli, 2 milli, 2 milli. All right. So trehalulose, once again, in the description box, the website at the bottom of the screen, right? But the description has the link straight to the honey. You want the drops, you want the jar, go get them. It's on sale. Get it while it lasts, while supplies last. All right. Trehalulose. Look at the difference between these two sugars. Okay. Sucrose is the one on the right, and trehalulose is the one on the left. Okay, sucrose is a disaccharide. Di meaning two, saccharide meaning sugar. It is a dimer. It is a complex of two sugars coming together. What are the two sugars? Glucose and fructose. Trehalulose, on the other hand, is a compound of what? Oh, it's the same, glucose and fructose. So it's like, what is the difference? They're the same sugars put together. The changes in the bond. The changes in the bond. You know what I'm saying? Bonds is everything. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you how. What's my man's name? Dang, I don't know. I ain't remember none of their names right now. What's Daniel Craig? Daniel Craig don't got nothing on Sean Connery. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in the bonds, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. So with this, it's the angle, and the angle deals with the movement. And when things are more rigid, just imagine somebody who skateboards. Their wheel, they got to give a little bit on their wheels so that board can shift and move as they do those tricks and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? You playing basketball, you gotta be fluid. You gotta have movement to get up there and dunk and get in the paint and everything. Like, everything deals with flow. Okay. And sucrose is very rigid compared to trehalulose. So trehalulose is a beneficial disaccharide isomer of sucrose. Thus, rare sugar breaks down 3 times slower than sucrose in the intestines, resulting in a gradual release of simple sugars in the bloodstream. Because the fructose and glucose molecules are linked by a 1,1 glycosidic bond, which is more stable than a 1,2 glycosidic bond in sucrose, it is broken down more slowly than sucrose in the small intestines, giving it a lower glycemic index. So trehalulose has a 1,1 glycosidic bond, and the sucrose has a 1,2 glycosidic bond. And because of that difference in the bond, all right, because of the difference in the bond, money penny, you're gonna get that money penny, Sean Connery. But nah, you're gonna get that sugar to break down 3 times slower. Mr. G, how y'all keep doing this? This is the second time you and Dice did it. I'll have a whole live going on. I'm on here. What am I at? I'm at an hour and 48 minutes. Dice will come up here and slide in. Mr. G will come here and slide in. Or Mr. G will come here and slide in, and then Dice will come in here right after. You said I'm talking like I'm nice. I am nice. What you talking about, bro? Yo, I was telling them that stingless bees are stingless, but that don't mean they harmless, Mr. G. And I was telling them that, if you ain't righteous and you ain't chosen, you know what I mean, and you ain't that one, that they'll get up in them orifices in your face and your nose and your ears and your mouth and take you up out of here in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Over that honey, you don't do them right. So I was like, yeah, they might be stingless, but they ain't harmless. Oh yeah, they will take you out the game. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's the nectar effect. I love it. The nectar effect. Yeah, so when you're dealing with these stingless bees, you're dealing with the enzymatic double displacement reaction. Let's break that down. Okay, an intermolecular displacement of nectar sucrose is what we're dealing with. Okay, so um when you're talking about enzymatic, you're dealing with an enzyme. Enzymes are catalysts. Okay, they're powerful molecules that are able to catalyze particular reactions. All right. So we got sucrose. All right, and is going to get converted into trehalulose. And it does this based on these glands that the stingless bees have in them that's able to perform this enzymatic double displacement reaction. So the sucrose acts as a glucose donor. Okay, donor meaning giving up, like an electron donor. Okay, it gives up the glucose molecule, right? Giving a beta D glucosyl enzyme intermediate with fructose release. Okay. So it gives up the glucose donor and then an enzyme intermediate with fructose released, demonstrated by the mix of the products. So now you have something called a glucosylation of the fructose. Okay. An inter or an intramolecularly with isomerization forms of trehalulose. What the hell is KT talking about with all of this damn stuff? So if you look at the diagram, you see sucrose in the bottom left corner right here. Okay. So you got glucose here in the blue. Okay. You got fructose here in the black. So the bee has enzymes. And what happens, and this is why vegans don't eat honey, you know what I'm saying? Because it got enzymes spit up in it or whatever. But I'm like, that's why I don't claim to be vegan, because I eat honey, dog. Like, I'm a honey fiend. You ain't about to stop me from eating that. Call me K Honey. You know what I'm saying? Not K Money, but K Honey. So the glucose and the sugar together, which makes sucrose, ends up being affected by the enzymes of this bee. So it goes through an intermolecular displacement. All right. And what happens is the trehalulose gets formed by them changing the bond angle up in the sucrose, which is just like Ant-Man. Because what does the PIM particles do? The PIM particles manipulate the bond angles, right, in between the molecules, and through that you're able to manipulate shrinking down to a certain scale or increasing your size to a certain scale. You know, so you got some Ant-Man superpowers going on right now. This is the science. You know, another thing that the stingless bee honey does is it turns wat to bot, or wat to bat. And what is wat and bat? Wat is white adipose tissue. Bat is black adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue. What is brown adipose tissue? Or what is adipose tissue? That's fat. So you got the white fat, you got the brown fat. And what is why is there brown fat? Brown fat is based on a concentration of mitochondria. That is mainly what babies are made of. Babies have they're so chubby and they're so fat. And if you notice babies' fat versus people that are obese or overweight, babies' fat is like together. You know what I'm saying? That's because it's so dense based on the concentration of mitochondria up in there, making it brown. So it turns white adipose tissue, which is a breeding ground for disease and disorders and problems like that, into brown adipose tissue, which creates thermal regulation. Is you able to create heat and power and things like that, you know? What products work best with the honey eye drop? Get the C3. Most definitely. There ain't a better combination than Conjures Crispus and these honey drops. You know what I'm saying? Get some vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? Get some phyto. You know what I'm saying? Or get one of the herbs that I carry, and you know, after the teas starts cooling down, add some of the honey to that tea. Never cook this honey. You know what I'm saying? Never cook this honey. You cook this honey, you are messing with the nutritional content of the honey, So they're netter nano engineers. We may make powerful tonics and compounds, but we're a long way from putting things together like the nano engineers. Imagine surgeons, engineers shrinking their hands down to nanometers. Think of all the intricate, meticulous creations that we could form when applying extraordinary detail, like how 3D printers be doing, at a microscopic atomic molecular level. These nano engineers have the ability to formulate the most efficient and complete plant-based compounds from a plethora of small flowers from medicinal herbs larger bees cannot access. Lego maniacs that are assembling secondary metabolite-like blocks, forming genetic nanomachines. Okay? Yeah, man. The Nesut Bitty. Nesut Bitty. This is what Ant-Man is all about. You know what I'm saying? Go like this video. I know I've been putting some information in. We've been rocking. I've been rocking and rolling with y'all. We about to hit 2 hours up in here. I don't think I'm going to stop. I think y'all might check out before I do. I mean, you might get up in the morning. I'll still be here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so the Nesut Bitty or the Nesut Cubit. Remember, cubit and Kemet represent scale and measurement. So the Nesut Cubit, and then Cubit also deals with quantum. And remember, we about to come out with Quantumania. What is the basis of quantum computation? Qubits. So the Nesut Cubity, king of the upper micro, because remember, upper and lower Kemet is flipped. Upper Kemet is lower vibration. Upper Kemet is really in the south, and lower Kemet is really in the north. So upper is the micro and lower is the macro Kemet, king of the quantum realm. The leader of Ant-Man is the wasp or queen, the insect world. The gene is the primary reproductive female caste of social insects, especially ants, wasps, and bees. Pollinators, masters of multidimensional communication. They're the gatekeepers of genetics. So who better to facilitate getting your genetics back in order than the ones that are the gatekeepers of that? And what do you think the honey is? The honey is the serum. It is the nectar to provide that. Originally denoting any small cold-blooded creature with a segmented body from Latin animal, insectum, segmented animal, translating Greek from in sakar, to cut up or into. Okay, sakar, to cut. So when you talk about the cut, you mean to cut down, to cut into smaller pieces. You know what I'm saying? And to shrink down. It's no coincidence that the symbol of the Nesut Bitty that you see, the sedge and the bee itself, looks just like the contraption that they made to enter into the quantum realm. Come on now. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. This is what it is, son. And when I talk about Kang next week, I'm gonna bring out my matter of fact, I could do that right now. I'm about to just, because this is my show. Oh my god. Oh, for skin discoloration, you want to activate the honey and take that honey and you want to get some Bantana. But you don't have to get the Bantana from me, because Mr. G got a sale going on with the Bantana right now, where if you purchase 4 ounces or more, you get free Honduran sea moss with the order. Okay, so if you get the Nesut Nectar from me, and you go over there and you get some Bantana, you get some free sea moss. Now you got the sea moss to mix with the honey along with the Bantana oil. That's how you want to do it. All right, so yeah, I'm about to pull something up, y'all. Let's see, in game decoded. All right, now when I get into Ant-Man, I'm going to show y'all. This was in 2019. This was all the way back in 2019. And let me show you something. Fire Marshal Bill, though, bro. Jim Carrey is a legend. Where are we? Where are we? Come on, where you at? Yeah, this was a powerful presentation, man. It's on it's in my Patreon. I mean, I should just put it on YouTube by now because it's been so long. Almost where you at? I'm looking for a slide, y'all. Oh, here we go. Boom. Now, this is from 2019, and even though I'm pulling up on a slide, I could go straight to the video. I go straight to the video. But this lets you know I don't be playing when it comes to the decoded. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I be getting it on point so much, but it's just what it is. Okay, this is in-game decoded. Look what I got. Look what I got on here. What that say? Well, no talking, no Kang. Okay? No talking, no Kang. No talking, no Chronopolis. Watch when y'all go see it, man. This where they about to be at. This is where Kang is. This is in my presentation. I said this is what's going to happen. I said when they was leaving out of the quantum realm, okay, with Michelle Pfeiffer and all of that, and dipping out, they passed by this city. All right. And I put Kang there, and I was like, this is what's about to happen. This is who's down there. This was in 2019. It's 2023, dog. This 4 years later. This 4 years ahead of the game with the info. You know, I be on it all night, man. I be on it all day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into Kang, you know. But yeah, I talked about that in the presentation, but just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. Let me go back to the regularly scheduled program. Put that back. All right. So everything that I just said about the stingless bee honey, that's going to give you an understanding of its effects on the eyes because it doesn't crystallize. Though when it gets cold, it does go to sleep. So you want to put it in some warm water for about 15, 20 minutes, you know, and then it's Gucci again. You know, you don't want to put it in your eye when it's thick, you know. I mean, it'll still help and everything like that, but it's nothing like when it's alive and it's golden orange, because when it's in its awake state, it's like glowing. It's like an incandescent bulb. It got kind of this orange. Oh man, it makes you feel like tree sap, that kind of golden, glassy orange kind of complexion. You know, so it helps the eyes immensely. You know, so this is about eye diseases right here. So we got few studies have been reported about the use of honey for the treatment of eye diseases, bacterial corneal ulcers, blepharitis, and catarrhal conjunctivitis have been treated with natural honey. There is evidence from in vitro studies that stingless bee honey could be as effective as first-line antibiotic for the treatment of common ocular diseases. In this study, we investigated the antimicrobial activity of stingless bee honey in experimental animals. The main objective of our study was to compare the efficacy of stingless bee honey to that of a first-line antibiotic agent for the treatment of infective conjunctivitis. The results demonstrated that stingless bee honey has potent antimicrobial activity against common ocular common ocular pathogens, and that this activity is comparable to that of gentamicin, which is an antibiotic. It's real toxic to the kidneys, and that's kind of what they use with the cytopathic effects off of the whole thing with viruses and stuff. The topical application of stingless bee honey to infected conjunctiva eradicated bacterial infections and reduced both sign of inflammation and the duration of infection. The stingless bee honey was more effective than gentamicin against P. aeruginosa, better than antibiotic. The time to the complete resolution of inflammation was significantly shortened with stingless bee honey, was used for the treatment of bacterial conjunctivitis caused by this agent. These results were observed with the application of one drop of stingless bee honey on the conjunctiva twice daily at 12-hour intervals. Our findings corroborate the previous report by Al-Waili, in which bacterial conjunctivitis caused by a variety of human pathogens, including Proteus, S. aureus, E. coli, P. aeruginosa, and Klebsiella, was treated successfully with the topical application of honey. Okay. Then when we get into the diabetic thing with the trehalulose, it's pancreatoprotective, which is based on the pancreas. Okay. So we talking about stingless bee honey has been claimed to possess multiple health benefits and anti-diabetic properties, or however unknown in this study, ability of stingless bee honey from Geniotrigona thoracacea stingless bee species in ameliorating pancreatic damage and in maintaining metabolic profiles were investigated in diabetic condition. So when they say is unknown, that's a lie. It's been being used thousands of years. It is known, Yeah, jump on it then, brother. It's in the description. Click on the link. The website's right here at the bottom, and it's on sale. It is your lucky day. It is your lucky night. It is your lucky moment. Don't waste another moment. Get 2 bottles, get 3 bottles, stock up, So yeah, golden amber. That is a great description, So we got stingless bee honey at 1 and 2 grams per kilogram of body weight was given orally to a streptozotocin, which is, this is antibiotics again, nicotinamide-induced male diabetic rat. So they use these antibiotics and these toxins to induce diabetes in the animal, in the person, and then they provide them with a remedy. Metabolic parameters, fasting blood glucose and lipid profiles were measured by biochemical assays. Distribution and expression level of insulin, oxidative stress marker, catalysts, inflammatory markers, those interleukins, and the tumor necrosis factor alpha and apoptosis marker, i.e. capase 9, and the pancreatic islets were identified and quantified respectively by immunohistochemistry. Levels of NF, KB in pancreas were determined by enzyme-linked immunoassay, which is known as ELISA or ELISA. And the results state that the stingless bee honey administration to diabetic male rats prevented increase in FBG, total cholesterols, triglycerides, and low-density lipoprotein levels. However, high-density lipoprotein and serum insulin levels in diabetic rats receiving SLBH increase. High-density lipoprotein is the protein that is buoyant and is able to flow through the bloodstream a lot easier, rather than the low density. When it's in a bad ratio with the high density lipoprotein, it's more sludgy and sticks to the walls and can seep through the seams of the cells that actually make up the walls of those vessels. Because your vessels are not seamless, they're made up of cells, so there's spaces in between. There's gaps, like you got gaps in your teeth, and you could get plaque and you could get food in there, right? You got to floss. Additionally, histopathological changes in expression levels of oxidative stress, inflammation, and apoptosis markers in pancreatic islets of diabetic rats increase with increased expression level of insulin in the islets. The conclusion is what? The conclusion is stingless bee honey has great potential to be used as an agent to protect the pancreas against damage and dysfunction, where these could account for its anti-diabetic properties. And in addition to that, we got honey has been claimed. Let me go to the end. Meanwhile, increased oxidative stress, inflammation, apoptosis in diabetic rats, pancreas were eliminated following 28 days administration of stingless bee honey. Stingless bee honey was found to display a dose-dependent effectiveness. Effects of 2 grams per kilogram of body weight was found to be almost identical to the effects exerted by this drug that they use for diabetes. In conclusion, stingless bee honey could be used as an anti-diabetic agent as it has pancreatoprotective effects. Okay, so we talking about diabetes. We talking about cavities in the mouth, tooth decay. We're talking about the glaucoma, cataracts of your eye. We're talking about post-stroke through eye drops. Why? Because your eyes are your brain, and it could get straight to it. It's the only food you can feed your brain, right? We're talking about shoot, I could go into, do I have it on here too, or is it on the other one? Is it on the other one? Yeah, you gotta get yourself a jar. Stop playing. Stop playing and get that thing. Get that thing. That's the exact color of it too. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. You know, get your Singles Bee honey, man. That's what you need in your life. Honey is a fascia-like Faraday cage for radiation, so it also helps with the 5G and radiation poisoning because they tested it on zebrafish, and the results have broad implications for a fast screening of novel radiation protectors. Look at this. Let me just say it. KH represents the stingless bee honey, the type of stingless bee honey. Okay. In conclusion, stingless bee honey has been demonstrated to increase the survival rate of zebrafish embryos as it possesses protective properties from ionizing radiation. We talking about ionizing, we talking about X-rays, bro. We talking about on the other spectrum where it's like beaming. Okay, stingless bee honey was also proven to protect zebrafish embryos from organ-specific abnormality, which is body curvature. Furthermore, stingless bee honey was known to exhibit cellular protective mechanism by reducing DNA damage and apoptosis through the selected proteins. These results have broad implications for a fast screening of novel radiation protectors and sensitizers for potential human therapeutic use. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on now. Which reverse mutation from the aberrant state of a gene back to its normal or wild type state can result in a number of possible molecular changes at the protein level. True reversion is the reversal of the original nucleotide change. However, phenotypic reversion can result from changes that restore a different amino acid with properties identical to the original. Second site changes within the protein can also restore normal function. You go on my IG, I got mad testimonials on there, you know. I got a test of, let me see, can I, do I have this? I know I downloaded it. What is it under? I got let's see. Oh boy, what is it called? I would like to play you a video, but it's on my IG. I'll probably just tell y'all to go to my IG and look at it because I don't feel like wasting the time looking right now. But testimonials with matter of fact, I got people in here that are watching right now. For those of y'all that have gotten the honey, okay, I got somebody who healed a bunch of old scars. I got people with vision. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's your own experience. Definitely. I got my own experiences with the honey. So anybody who's in the chat right now that that has gotten the honey and that have had an experience with it so far, can you write something in the chat? I appreciate that if you could do that. But in addition to that, I got people who don't wear glasses no more. Shoot, Mr. G, his Queen Shay, she's one of them. She don't wear her glasses no more. I got a lot of people put glasses down, have taken contacts out their eyes, cataracts, glaucoma, all of that is getting better. People who got dry eyes, you know, there we go. Mr. G right there. My wife retired her glasses. She don't wear them no more. She's been wearing her glasses forever. You know, um, who else we got? I know we got a few more people in here because I got some stuff back in the no, we don't got free shipping. Shipping costs, but we do have a sale going on right now. We do have a sale going on right now. I healed my hand, you know what I'm saying, which was ripped. It was this hand right here. It was ripped where you could see the muscle and the tissue. And it healed it back in 3 days. And now I can't even tell from the rest of my hand that I had a hole in my palm, you know. Let me see. I have the honey and used it to heal a cut on my leg from hitting a table. So we got that person right there. Appreciate that. And then, like I said, on my IG, if you go through my IG, especially around because we did that event at the end of May. If you go to the May part of my IG when I was doing my presentation, you know, I posted everything right after. So maybe it's like June 1st or something like that. You know, you got testimonials there, and then you got testimonial. I got testimonials in August, testimonials in September. It's all written out. You know, 3 posts, you know. So I got that. And then I got the video of the little girl from London that busted her face up, and her mom put the honey on her face and it healed all her scars up. She was a little girl. I healed 3 old scars. I just got my pot, just trying to set up the diet to maximize the benefits. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I got the honey. It definitely clears up my sinus area. I breathe better every time I do it. Okay. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would tell. I don't care what issue you having. I would tell you to get this honey and ingest it. You will not find this honey anywhere else on the planet. This is a one of a kind thing. Okay. So we talking about reverse mutation. Reverse mutation. We talking about administration of this stingless bee honey also reported to increase sperm production and elevate testosterone levels. Traditionally is used for anti-aging, enhancing libido, treatment for bronchial phlegm, relieving sore throat, cough, and cold, and improving the system. It's too widespread. And the consistency of this honey, as well as the components of this honey, ain't that much different from the consistency of your body. If your body became liquefied, it would look like that honey. So it's really like it's I don't even know. I don't even know how else to describe it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth, you know? So we got what else we got? Oh, next slide. Next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. We hot. Next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. We lie. You know? Yeah, so stingless bee honey beneficially affects on fertility as well as in ameliorating the hormones related to fertility. Recent study exposed to auditory stress reported that a decrease in fertility could be ameliorated with 0.2 milliliters of 5% honey dissolved in water. Noise is a natural teratogenic factor that severely impacts human health, reproductive fitness, and the function of reproductive organs. Noise. So we be talking about, you know, all types of other stuff. So our fertility, size of our testicles, size of our phallus, that gets affected by noise. And a lot of the music these days is noise, you know. The honey turned into a super honey after I put it in the sun. Hey, I told them about that. I told them about that activation. You got to activate it. It's sleep till you activate it. You know what I'm saying? It'll turn you into Superman all on its own. No, do not get on no top of building and try and fly. I'm figurative language here, okay? Figurative language. But it'll make you Superman just off of it in its normal state. But when you activate it, man, what do they define as noise? Jackhammers, honking horns, bad music, arguments, people screaming and yelling, knocking down buildings, sirens, ambulance, decompression of trucks and buses, horns, brakes, all that unnatural shit. Yes, the honey is activated in the sun. The study indicated that honey consumption ameliorated altered levels of FHF and LH, which is follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, and testosterone. Okay, and testosterone. Yes, yes, yes. Stingless bee honey is unbelievable. I'm trying to tell you, you know. And then, of course, when it comes to herpes, it helps with the collagen because I talked about this in the herpes video. Herpes is about collagen getting broken down. You know what I'm saying? So it builds the collagen back up, and it helps with the wound healing on the surface if you end up having certain breakouts. Oh yeah, this is getting into the parasite portion of it all. But yeah, my next video is going to be called Metal and Heavy with Heavy Metals. That's what I'm going to be getting into. Let's see. Excuse me. Pardon me. This is the herpes. Herpes. All right, let me see what I got up here. Stop screen. Yeah, we still going at 220. Y'all still rocking with me. That's what's up. Oh, I'm an L. That honey changed my life. Look at that. Oh, well, not the strength of the mushrooms multiply. The amount of vitamin D in the mushroom increases. So yeah, if you add the honey to it, then yeah, you got a match made in heaven right there. I can honestly say I hear better now as a result. Ooh, look at that. You could hear better. Look at that. Look at that. Now I could break it down to you. The honey is sentient, bro. Like shrooms are. Oh, Mr. G. Guess what I showed everybody today? I'm gonna get into the activation, but you know what this is, Mr. G? Huh? You know what that is? Huh? Want to take a guess? Yeah, I'm about to unleash it. I'm about to unleash it on him. You've been telling me what you waiting on, KT. What you waiting on? What's this? What's this right here? Huh? The benefits of taking it orally is going to help you with tooth decay. It's going to help you internally with your organs. It's going to help you with inflammation. It's going to help you with GMO foods that you've been eating and heavy metals that you've been eating. It's going to help you with all of that. Guess, man. Guess what it is, dog. Guess. Come on, son. You know what it is. Go and type it in the chat, Mr. G. You know what this is. It's what you've been waiting on. It's going to help people with diabetes. It breaks down 3 times slower than all the other sugars. So it's great for diabetics because it has a very low glycemic index. It's going to help with your energy. It's going to help with your just balancing the system out as a whole. It's going to give you power. It's going to give you insight. It's going to help with, the main thing is just the anti-mutagenic properties. You know what I mean? Being able to protect that DNA, protecting the different organs, clearing out the blood, providing you with all these polyphenols, being a source of light. Nope, Mr. G. I can't believe this the blue honey, Mr. G. This the blue honey right here. That's what this is. Yeah, boy. That's the blue honey. 6 months, Mr. G. 6 months curing and getting all of its lovely honey properties all mixed in with the what? With this guy. Okay, so what happens when you mix this and that? Huh? When they start partying together, huh? What happens when they start partying together? Huh? They start partying together, You put them together, 1 + 1 = 2, baby. Yeah, that's the blue honey. How long in the sun you want to put it in the sun when the sun come up and keep it out there all day. Now, it's going to activate in less time than that, but the longer you keep it out there, the more and more potent and powerful it's going to be. Yes, that's that limitless. That's that limitless liquid right there. They ain't ready for that though, Mr. G. You know how I know they ain't ready for that? Because they ain't going in the description and hitting on the link. They're not even getting the regular. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even putting that in the sun. So let's see who gets that, and then I'll start sharing my stash, because this is mine. Like, I might just dump this all over my face and just blah, and then y'all see me in like a month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, honey in the sun activates the honey. The honey, you know how you get like new phones and stuff like that, and you got to like set it up first before you can use it. Like the sun, that's what it does. There's a lot of dormant properties hidden inside the honey, and when you sit it in the sunlight, because what they call it down in Honduras, they call it sun gel. They call it sun gel. And when you put that honey in your eyes after it's activated, it's almost like when you take shrooms, how your vision increases. You're going to see, miles, up the street, up the block, you know what I'm saying, around the corner and all that. But yeah, you put it in your eye, not the blue honey though. Not the blue. You don't put the blue honey in your eye, But yeah, the dream. Okay, yeah, surrealism and dreams. Dreams become very vivid, when you consume it and when you take it in your eyes as well. And it's a food. It's going to feed you. It's going to be an antioxidant in your body. Whatever autoimmune diseases you're dealing with, jab, diabetes, autoimmunes is helping. And it's delicious. Best honey I've ever had. It's good. Like I when I was doing these Instagrams last week, I was drinking it out of a cup. Like I had me I had poured some Hennessy or something, and I was sipping on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? How long will that? It's on sale now. That's when it's on sale for. You saying how long? While supplies last. While supplies last. Or you might want to, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to go on, hit that link, Yeah, you better get another jar too. Go for it. But yeah, man. No, jar ain't the only one on sale. The drop is on sale too. Oh, when will I get more? When I get more, let me respond to this text real quick, y'all. Give me uno momento. Uno momento. Yeah, the honey is where it's at. And I need to, this is what I'm about to do while I do this text and I respond to this person. Hold on real quick. Where is I must have minimized it. Yeah, I did. Minimize. Hold on. Let me pull this up. And we gonna put some up for y'all to read real quick. Oh yeah, that's for the herpes. Y'all can read about the herpes real quick. All right. Uno momento. Golly, these Texas is, and it's like 12 o'clock. Hold on. All right. All right. So yeah. All right. So yeah. Put that up for y'all to read real quick. Why I had to respond to somebody. Let's see what y'all talking about in the chat. Put this back up again. Matter of fact, no, I'm about to put the boy up. What am I talking about? Let's put you up real quick. Let's see. Oh, y'all said no. Go back and check again. Go back and check again. That might be a glitch. It might be a glitch. The Cobb drops are available right now. There's enough. There's enough. They ain't going yet. Y'all go back and look. And yeah, the jar is definitely available also. Go back and look. I'm trying to tell you. I think y'all might have hit the wrong link. Hit the link again. Refresh your page. That's what you say, right? Refresh your page. Now, to get back to the activation, okay, the activation, you sit it in the sun for the day in glass. You don't do it in plastic, of course, and then you don't want it just out in the open either. You want it in a closed jar, closed container, in glass. You know what I'm saying? In the sunlight, okay, and it's going to activate it, and the activation also assists with the burning of the eyes as well. It's not gonna have that same burn that it normally has. That onion burn is going to be a lot more mild, and your eyes are going to accept it a lot more. So it's like, yeah, I was comparing it to like certain, so you can get certain phones, stuff like that. You can't just use it right away. You got to like set up the program, download apps and everything like before you use it. So you don't want to use it beforehand. You know what I mean? Well, no, I'm not going to say you don't want to use it beforehand. It's going to be extremely powerful after the fact. If you use it beforehand, you're still going to have amazing results because so many people have so far, including myself. But when you sit in that honey, when you sit that honey in that sun, it's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, somebody hit the link for me. Somebody hit the link and check real quick and see whether or not the dropper is available. Because I know I ain't tripping. Go on, check for me real quick, y'all. Somebody check. Somebody hit the link in the description and go and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, so you probably just had to sit it in some warm water. When it's thick like that, you don't want to do it thick. Sit it in that warm water and also now activate it. Put it in that sun. It's okay. There you go. Y'all good to go. That's what I thought. Yeah. So it still was working. So, and then you got to think about this too, what people might not realize, depending on how bad your situation is with your eyes, you know what I'm saying, with your sight. and everything, what condition it is, because some people, they have a greater burn than others. So it's tolerance level, and it's also what condition your eyes are in. So if you're dealing with something real serious, then it'll take a little bit longer, and it's going to work harder at it. And working harder means you're going to feel that. But I suggest you get a bowl of hot water, not boiling hot, but hot water. You take the jar, you take your dropper bottle, and you sit it in there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Let that thing thin on out, because remember, this honey is from tropical regions where it's like 80 degrees all the time, 85 degrees, and it's humid. And that hot water sitting in that bowl is going to replicate that environment, and is going to put that honey back in its state. So do that first. The IG link takes you to the website, and then you got to go to the store, and then you got to find the product and everything like that. But if you hit the link in the description here on YouTube, it'll take you straight to it. Even the previous videos, they have the link in there too. Oh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. He said at 11:11. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, y'all good to go. Y'all good to go. Okay, let's get back to it. What else I need to talk about with this? With this honey. Talking about the honey. Honey penny. Let's talk about the honey penny. Let's see. Talked about memory. We talked about the brain. Went through all of that. I could talk about a little bit of folklore real quick. Tears of Ra. All right, so yeah, this is something I put together. When you're talking about a bee, you know that they're connected to us because, we're classified as human beings. Okay, human beings. So bee, all right, in Hebrew represents Beth, which is the letter on the bottom with the dot in the center. And Beth means house, such as a hive, or a body, what I mean, that houses the spirit of the soul, or the bee itself, housing the Kenam. And I found that interesting. It blew my mind when I came across this because, for those of y'all that know me, y'all know that my name is Kamani. That's what the K stands for. It's going to get rid of spider veins because you're dealing with, anytime you're dealing with varicose veins, spider veins, and all of that, you're dealing with a loss of charge because the capillary system of your body, cardiovascular system, capillary, so forth and so on, is not moved around by the heart. The heart actually slows the blood that's coming and arriving to that area because, just like an interchange on a highway, when there's curves and wraparounds, everything slows down as they get on the other exit. And, the blood, it has to get on another exit called the lungs to get oxygenated and then that to get redistributed through the body again. So the movement of your blood comes from the electromagnetic field interacting with the plasma, the water in the bloodstream, separating the charge, creating a negative charge around the walls of your vessels, creating a positive charge in the center of the vessels, and that creating a proton motive force that carries it. So when people taking blood pressure medication, they're taking that blood pressure medication because what's happening is your body always is going to fix itself when there's a problem. And how does it fix itself? It starts to narrow the vessels, because if you narrow the vessels, it's going to increase the pressure, thus increase the flow of the blood. So then you got high blood pressure, you test for high blood pressure, you get the blood pressure medications, it opens up the vessels, it slows down the heart. by increasing acetylcholine by way of your autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic portion of it, and now you got sludgy blood and sludgy heart. So your body's like, yo, you're gonna die and everything's gonna get messed up in here with this low blood flow. We got to increase it so it narrows the vessels again, and that's why your blood pressure goes up. And you take the pills again, and it goes down, and it goes up. And what you're doing is you're fighting your body, you're beating your body down, you're spitting on it for doing its job, and that's why they say you're gonna take blood pressure medication for the rest of your life because you don't understand what's happening. So through grounding, through increasing the charge, and through eating miraculous divine superfoods such as this one, you increase your charge. And increasing your charge, you increase your flow. You increase your flow, you don't have collapsing and prolapsing veins and things like that no more, because they're a byproduct of edema and a byproduct of low flow. Okay, so that's one of the ways, at least, So my name is Kamani. So when I found out that the B represents something called the Kenam, that's what they call the Kenam, which is essentially the spirit that inhabits the body being the hive. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, son, that's my name. Like, it gets creepy. You know what I mean? Do I have to take 2 tablespoons daily with the drop? I don't understand what you're asking. If you have the drops, you could take it. You put in a drop in each eye. If you have the jar, then you have more. But if you're talking about the whole jab protocol situation, then you need 750 milliliters, which essentially is about 12 jars. You know what I'm saying? 12 jars. Got to pay to play when you make certain decisions. So the sun activation just takes 1 day. Yeah, it just needs the sun. You could do it every day. Charge it every day. Charge it every day. How long does the calf drops last? If you're just doing drops, remember that 60 milliliter is essentially, it's like 1,000 drops up in there. If you're talking like an individual drop, so it lasts as long as you could do 500 sessions. That's over a year. That's every day, once in each eye. You know what I'm saying? If that's all you're doing. But if you're glooping, meaning it's more than a drop, it's like bloop, then yeah, it's going to be a lot shorter. But I know people have their honey longer than a month, But the thing is, it tastes so good and it works so well that, yeah, people really don't ration it like that. They end up running through it, like you eating some good food. Yeah, I'm not doing consultations right now. I just broke it on down. I said what to do. I said what to do in regard to the blood pressure. So, yeah, definitely. This honey don't got no contraindications. It's food. It's like apple. I ain't gonna say, oh, you can't have an apple with this stuff. The honey is real good for the pineal, but yeah, it helps with the pituitary because it's gonna help you with circadian rhythm and melatonin, and pituitary is the master gland. Especially when you mix it with honey. So B is Beth and represents house, such as the hive of the body. And the B, okay, housing the Kenam or the primordial force, which if you see a bee fly, that's the primordial force, animating principle, or the Aleph bull. This is why they named the hybrid that they created from the stingless bee Apis, because Apis represents the bull in Kemet. Look it up, Serapis. Okay, the solar bull. And both. You don't see bees out at night. You see bees out during the day. The quintessence of the sun is preserved in the nectar of the flowers, in which the bees create a milk we call honey. All right. So the same way they milk cows, they milk Apis mellifera. Okay. But they get honey out of it, you know? So it's funny. You're looking at Aleph and you're looking at Beth. And what does that say? A bee. You know, but it's funny because Aleph is the silent letter. So B is actually the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. That's auditory. And B represents sound. Bzzz. Yeah, bro. I'm on fire tonight. Yeah, so yeah, the honey is available. It is on sale right now. Y'all need to get with it. If you haven't gotten with it now, if you got one for yourself, get one for the one you love, get some for your children, get some for a friend, take one to a coworker at work, give it away as a gift, get some and just put it away. It doesn't go bad for it's eternal. It's eternal. This is a scene out of Ant-Man right here. Why they got him flying through coronavirus in the movie before the coronavirus came out. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? They be letting you know, letting you know. Yeah, anti-mutagenic. Okay. The reactive species generated during the process of chronic inflammation may contribute to the onset of mutagenesis and carcinogenesis. In this way, the identification of compounds with antioxidants and anti-mutagenic properties may have great therapeutic importance. Substances with such activities have been found in many natural products, such as plants and bee products. In addition to antioxidant properties, M or B-gene demonstrated anti-mutagenic potential. We're just talking about a stingless bee. In this study, the extract decreased the survival, right, which may be related to its fungicidal action. However, was able to reduce the frequency of gene conversion and the amount of mutant colonies induced by the mutagenic agent. Some studies suggest that the anti-mutagenic activity of Apis mellifera propolis is related to its antioxidant activity. So they trying to get into Apis. So they always try to do this. They try to, and you'll see a lot of papers where they try to compare Apis to the stingless bee honey, but like the study wasn't there before, but they try to throw Apis up in there because they want to justify this hybrid honey, but it ain't no comparison. Phenolic compounds and terpenes are well known for their antioxidant properties as well as for acting as anti-mutagenic agents, you know. But the stingless bee honey they mentioning up there is way more potent and way more powerful, and then they just want to come in and throw the Apis in at the end of the paper and everything. And it's like, nah, you can't do that. Can't do that. Hey, just copped yours. Congratulations. You have just set yourself on for a journey, you know? Yeah, it does. Yeah, from electromagnetic energy. I spoke on it earlier. You must have came after I talked about it. I'll read it again. Honey is a fascia-like Faraday cage for radiation and non-native EMF. These results have broad implication for a fast screening of novel radiation protectors and sensitizers for potential human therapeutic use. Yeah, it's a Faraday cage for sure. And this is the other thing. Honey structures water. What makes stingless bee honey? It has 70% more water than regular honey, and it has only 70% of the sugar that hybrid honey got. Okay, so with all this water, it's structured because the water never separates. You don't sit the honey and then it separates. You know what I'm saying? And there's pools. No, that water is structured like it's supposed to be. And how do you know? Because bees make honeycombs. Bees make hives. You know what I mean? So it's all structured. You know what I mean? Let me know when. Listen, the Blue Magic is on Mr. G's site. You got to go to bluemagicbontanaoil.com, bluemagicbontanaoil.com. And if you snatch up some Blue Magic right now, sizes 4 ounces and up, then you're gonna end up getting a free Honduran sea moss, free Honduran sea moss. You know, yeah, Apis, man. Oh, you meant for the blue honey? You meant the blue. I got you. I got you. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm about to put that together. I gotta strain it. I gotta strain it and bottle it and get it right. Yeah. Go on, get it. I know, right? You got the ninja subscribers, Mr. G. You know what I'm saying? They watch me and everything, but they don't subscribe. They don't hit the notifications. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Where am I? I'm about to hit 3 hours, bruh. I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But yeah, you need to support Mr. G for sure. For sure. He giving away pristine Honduran sea moss. Do you understand? It's coming straight from the ocean in Honduras to you. Ain't no processing in between except getting put in the bag. That's it. From ocean, Mr. G hand to your hand. You know? And Sabi talked about the honey. I got the video on my Instagram right now, you know. Oh man, no problem, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in and the support and the support. Like I said, y'all don't want to sleep on this honey. It's not just that regular honey sitting at the grocery store. This is for your genes. Or you purchase Mr. G book. That's what's up. That's what's up. That means you got some knowledge now because he put them gems up in there. He definitely did. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. But I'm supposed to. Yeah, this is anybody know what that is? What they looking at right there? I'm gonna blow it up some. What's that? Yeah, and you got to also understand when it comes to sea vegetables, they're natural chelators. You know what I'm saying? They're natural chelators. So yeah, they ain't gonna have a bunch of heavy metals in them. I know the sea vegetables I deal with have the little they have the what is it called? The little clearance. I can't even think of the term right now. But the proof that it doesn't have all them heavy metals and radiation and all that stuff up in there. Arteries, nope. Vessel, nope. Nope. These are not arteries and these are not vessels. What is that? What you looking at? What you looking at, son? What you looking at? Hit the likes, y'all. Hit the likes if y'all like this video. We're talking about Nesut Nectar, stingless bee honey, greatest honey on the planet. This honey is out of this world because it came from out of this world. This is a way to stay connected to the cosmos. This is a way to open up your pineal and have greater dreams at night. All right. This is the honey for diabetes. This is the honey for the eyes. This is the honey for the skin, for the wound healing. This is the honey for vaginal dryness. You understand? Somebody said neurons, cilia. Cilia is close. Iris. Nope. This is you traveling through the duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestines, followed by the jejunum and ileum. What you see on the walls are the villi. or the finger-like projections, or the hairs, so to speak, that are projected into the lumen of this aqueous tube where all of the magic happens. You have the ampulla vata that would be to the side, which is the entry point from the duct of the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. So as pancreatic lipase, bile, and other cholecystokinin and secretin get secreted into the lumen of this duodenum to help to digest the fats, the proteins, the sugar, so forth and so on. You're looking at the finger-like projections that are responsible for absorbing the nutrients. Okay. And you see this with people that, when they came up eating tripe, it had that kind of little brushy little feeling. That's what you're looking at right now. Okay. And what main thing exists here that is so important to our health? That is the microbiome. That is your billion population prokaryotic family that essentially is responsible for breaking this food down and releasing nutrients too, gases, and so to speak. So we're really gas beings. You know what I'm saying? We're gas beings. And we thrive off gases, hence why we're in an atmosphere and we deal with pressure. You ever notice when you got gas how much it inhibits you? And think about when you can't breathe. That's a gas thing. So even with food, how do you know food doesn't agree with you? Because you start expelling large quantities of gas and you get bloated and you get gas bubbles. You know what I'm saying? But when you eat correctly, you don't. So you know that there's a control mechanism of the proper gases and the proper pressures that occur. And that's how, just think about it, how gas moves. That's how, things are done so quickly, So yeah, you're looking at the duodenum or the duodenum that follows the pyloric sphincter, which is the doorway from the stomach. That is an alkaline environment to particularly alkalize the contents coming in, because the stomach has hydrochloric acid and you don't want acidic contents taken over in this region. You need it to be in an alkaline environment. But yeah, man, yeah, that's the duodenum, and inside the honey is bacteria, so it's a probiotic. Okay, the honey is a probiotic and it's a prebiotic. So when people be like, "Oh, you need to increase your probiotics," you got it. This is the probiotic right here. You know what I'm saying? So prebiotics are like baobab powder, you know what I'm saying? Acacia gum, that's another one. But a probiotic would be this honey. Oh yeah, mix, definitely. Take it with some eyebright and see what happens. But yeah, man, I think I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I want to appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Y'all stuck it out with me, man. We about to hit the 3-hour mark. I'm going to ride it out these 2 minutes. And I guess in these 2 minutes, I'll just kind of go over everything. Remember, Mr. G is doing a sale over at bluemagicbotanaoils.com. If you get a size 4 ounces or above, you get a free pack of Honduran sea moss straight from the oceans of Honduras in the Mr. G hand to you. Okay. We currently have a sale of Nesut Nectar, both the dropper and the jar right now. I could both the dropper and the jar, but the jar up because I got the dropper in my hand, right? Both the dropper and the jar at the site right here down below. However, it's all blown up. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. At the site down below, and if you go in the description, there's a direct link. Okay. You could, I don't know about rattlesnake oil, but you get the capsules from Bolinga Balance from Victor. Shout out to Victor. Oh yeah. I'll be streaming more often. I've done a lot. I think I did a lot of videos lately. Last one was about 6 days ago, but I did about four or something back to back to back. But I'll probably get back on here tomorrow again. So the droplets is on sale, the jars is on sale. It's in the link right now. The site is on sale too. So you still, if you wanted to get some other products, they're discounted also right now. If you want some juggling, you can't get the juggling on its own. The juggling is also only in a CL5, but the CL5 comes with the jar that you see right here to the side of me. It comes with the juggling as well. It comes with purple Conjures Crispus, raw purple, fresh harvested Conjures Crispus, and it's dark purple. Thanos look light skinned. Thanos is light skinned compared to this Conjures Crispus. And then it comes with two other elements in the package as well. Whose site is down? Whose site you talk about? Oh, you talk about Victor? Is it? I wasn't aware of that. Maybe it's yeah, he's probably just upgrading, uploading. You know how you gotta update, you have your little updates and everything like that. I know I have to go in my website from time to time, so he probably had to shut it down temporarily for it. But you could always reach out to him on IG just in case, Yeah. Okay, so oh, we passed the 3-minute mark because I be talking. So we hit, the 3-hour mark. So we hit 3 hours, y'all. So yeah, want to thank all of y'all for coming out. Go over this information again, like I said, and I ain't even cracking the surface, bro. It's way more stuff that this honey do. This is just what I fit in 3 hours. But yeah, man, love and light. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Yes, I think I'll do a full blue honey presentation next in honor of Kang. Since he got that blue screen on him, right? And we talking about an Ascension protocol.